Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Monday, Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports. You know what it is, taking you up to 2 p.m. And if you don't know, now you know. Simone behind the glass for us today as we get you through your case of the Mondays. Hopefully you don't have too bad of a case of the Mondays because we still have football, Jets, Niners, and of course you can hear the Niners on these airwaves, as you can every Niners game, as we are the Sacramento partner affiliate with the San Francisco 49ers. And it's going to be a heck of a game. We will break that down a little bit later in the show as Aaron Rodgers comes back to the Bay to try to finally vanquish his foe. I mean, normally these stories go, I had a chip on my shoulder, and ever since then, I've just beat the brakes off that team. That's normally how it happens with the Kings, C.J. McCollum, Klay Thompson, guys like that. But with Aaron Rodgers, yeah, he has a Super Bowl, and the Niners are still looking for it. But besides that part of it, head-to-head, Aaron Rodgers has not really gotten to avenge the situation, and it's been throughout a lot of different quarterbacks. Aaron, the Niners haven't even been able to nail down a quarterback, and whoever they've had has still been able to beat you. So I wonder if tonight is the night, or one of the nights, where Aaron will get the other side of it, and he will have to do it without my guy, or I should just say fellow Temple alum, Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick is starting the process of getting back into the fold, but he will take a game check. It is real in the field. You're talking about real deal money. Hassan Reddick will take a game check today, and he will not be playing. But the NFL is back. Let's talk about what has happened. And yeah, at 10:15-ish, in 10 minutes, we are going to have a conversation that we have to have, okay? We have to have it with this situation with Tyreek Hill. And, you know, these are situations where, and by the way, Chris Watkins out today. He should be back in tomorrow, so we will hold it down for Chris in the meantime. But this is a situation where I have Simone with me, and we're going to try to do this as best as we can. We know that these things can get a bit awkward. I'll mention this when we have the conversation, but, you know, as I've talked about before, my mom was a federal agent. She's retired now, and it gives me a bit of a different perspective on things, and we will get into that, what Tyreek Hill had to say about it, what went down, what you thought about it. I'm not afraid to open up phone lines for something like that, and, you know, us to have a real conversation. So we will kind of handle all of that in about 10 minutes. And we will also break down all the games that went down this weekend, okay? Will the Niners run through the NFC again based on what you saw? I feel pretty good about it. If you're a Niner fan, Simone's got her Niner shirt on. You should feel good about it too. Which team is in the worst situation? There are some bad teams out there, man. And this Deshaun Watson thing, we're going to get into it as we get into Dak getting paid as well, and why Jerry Jones, I joke about the Niners being obsessed with drama, but Jerry Jones, two guys, he spent the whole offseason just not paying for whatever reason, and then he just pays them. I mean, only the Cowboys would pay somebody. Dak Prescott gets paid on game day, and I don't know, Simone, did you see him in his dark pink velour suit with the flowers going on? I mean, he looked like new money, and why wouldn't he? He's making $60 million a year. He sets the market, so we'll get into the details of this contract. And look, I'm going to say no offense, but I wouldn't rather have anybody else behind the glass today than one Simone for the conversation that I want to have. And you talk about uncomfortable. It's about to get uncomfortable later in the show as we discuss Kendrick Lamar doing the Super Bowl and whether or not I think that's the right move. Okay, a lot of millennials are saying Lil Wayne got snubbed. He's from Louisiana. Was there a reason that Lil Wayne didn't get picked? Off the top of my head, I don't know how many songs Lil Wayne and Kendrick have together. And if you're Lil Wayne, I know his either his manager or his agent put out something, and he wasn't happy about it. We'll never put ourselves in a position where we don't get chosen. Was there a reason Lil Wayne didn't get chosen? And as a whole, the last picks for the Super Bowl, does Jay-Z need to rethink this? So we're going to have some fun with that conversation. That'll be probably in the 1 o'clock hour. But I want to start here, Simone. The rookies look like rookies. Okay, we expected that to happen. Caleb Williams. I mean, you saw the Tyrese Halliburton memes with Caleb Williams getting an A, and he literally did not do anything. He had dub bears painted on his fingernails, and then proceed. I don't know if that affected his ability to throw the football. I don't think it did, but he did not look. Preseason football might be one of the most confusing preseasons that we have. And we've talked about this before, but as far as spring training and how spring training, it's kind of hard to tell because, there are guys that aren't going to make it and guys that aren't necessarily playing. NBA preseason is really a dress rehearsal, but NFL preseason, there are guys that earn jobs from NFL preseasons. I mean, they've made a whole franchise from Hard Knocks off it. And you see guys like Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels who definitely didn't look bad, but they'll ball out, right? You don't know what to do. I mean, Brock Purdy, some of these guys will ball out, and you're thinking, okay, they're going to do something. Dak Prescott, who just got a bag, he made his bread get buttered during the preseason. But then there's situations where you see a Caleb Williams, and look, I believe it was Bill Belichick said he's got to make the easy throws. He had a couple highlights, and then he goes out there against a Titans team who they're on our list of what are you doing with Mayo Man and what was he doing on that turnover in the fourth quarter. But that was a situation where Caleb Williams did not look like the Caleb Williams, not just of UFC, but the Caleb Williams that we saw in the preseason. So it can get very, very confusing there. The other thing that I wanted to discuss, and we're going to have some fun with this one as well, is whether or not and I saw this going around social media, and it really made me think about it, whether or not the NFL red zone is a little bit overrated. Not Scott Hanson and what he does, obviously not. He's incredible at what he does, but just the idea of the red zone. Some people are not as high on the red zone as others. So we will have some fun with that as well. But I wanted to dive into this one a bit, and on the Raiders being brutal, that's obviously something that we'll get into. Wanted to dive into this about a bit, the dynamic kickoff, and I believe the Cardinals ran one back. It was the first dynamic kickoff. This is from Matt Mayoko. This was before the weekend, so we'll have to see a breakdown of the weekend whenever that comes out. But in the first two games with the NFL's new dynamic kickoff, he says the NFL's new dynamic kickoff rule appears to have the opposite of its intended purpose. It has taken the kick return out of the game even further. In two games, 19 of 24 kickoffs have resulted in touchbacks. Two kickoffs have been returned out of the red zone with 23 and 16 as those starting points, rather than the 30 if the receiving team had just settled for the touchbacks. It looks as if there will be more touchbacks, fewer kickoff returns this season than ever before. Simone, I want to get you in here. The kickoff, the dynamic kickoff, it looks weird. It looks very rugby-esque. It doesn't seem to be helping. I will say this, the NFL is not perfect by any means, but they are really good at recognizing something and continuing to play with ideas and continuing to play with things that they should or should not do. What do you think of the dynamic kickoff, and do you think it'll make it past this season?
I mean, I know this is a really terrible take, but isn't it too early to call? Initial impressions?
It looks bad. It looks bad. And it just already, then everyone just goes and
there were definitely a lot of flags.
A lot of flags. I mean, that was just bad. It was just a bad
We're
weekend.
all learning still.
Yes, of football. But it's just so many touchbacks. It's so many touchbacks. 19 of 24. That was just in the first two games. And I will say this. Look, we had some fun, and later in the show, we are premiering actually today, as we've done Kings Prop Talk, and we've had a lot of fun with that. And we've helped some people get a lot of cheddar on this show. The question is, can we take it to the gridiron as we premiere Prop Talk for the Niners? We will be doing that all season long, as long as we can. Sometimes if the game is on Sunday, sometimes the props aren't available yet, but we will help you as much as we can. So we will have some fun with that. But Simone, I was just in PA, and I was telling the guys on Friday that the gambling rules are different in PA. You got sports books, you can do whatever you want. And it's just terrible when you have a buddy that's got his parlays out there and nothing hits, and the first thing you do, you go on social media, there's a guy who ran a parlay for 7 first touchdown, right? This guy guessed 30 cents.
No.
Turned that into 30 grand. He did, I think, 7 or 8 first touchdown of the game. He picked the actual players. 30 cents into 30 grand.
Lord, I've seen what you've done for others.
I'm
Please.
saying. And you're sitting there, I got a buddy, he's sitting there trying to cook up, and it's just not cooking. And then you sit there and you think, man, it looks so simple. But I guess the bottom line is, if those things are getting posted, clearly it is not happening too often. So we will get into a little bit of prop talk and predictions later in the show. Also, how could I forget? This is coming up in about an hour. We get into the Brandon Ayuk drama. Jay Glazer says, "Oh, Niner fans, you think you're chilling? Well, here's a story." And people are saying that Kyle was running upstairs and there was a trade that almost happened. So we have that sound for you and what Jay Glazer had to say coming up next. It is a fully loaded show, an NFL heavy show, yes, but we will go around the NBA. We do have some Kings talk for you as well, of course, because we are the flagship and the home of your Sacramento Kings. We get into a Western Conference team that just locked down their point guard, but what do we do with this point guard? I have no clue how good this guy is, but I do know that he just made a ton of money. Coming up next, we get into the Tyreek Hill situation. Like we said, we can't shy away from stuff like this, and it is what it is. When it happens in the sports world, we have to report on it. I will give my thoughts on it. Simone will give her thoughts on it, and you can give your thoughts on it. 916-339-1140. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
I had been starting to be sick all the time at work, so I went to the doctor. He asked if people in the office smoked. He identified it as being exposed to secondhand smoke. I decided to sue. It was worth it in the end, California being the first state to be smoke-free in workplaces and restaurants in the country.
Andrea was part of a historic movement to ban smoking in the workplace. Learn how she and other Californians are fighting big tobacco at undo.org.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
It's the home opener for Sacramento State Hornets this Saturday, 6 p.m. kickoff versus Nichols. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Play action, take two, back to throw, wants a deep one. Downfield, he's got Tyreek. Tyreek at the 40, 35, 39, down the sideline he goes. Touchdown, Miami. Oh my gosh. Speed kills once again. Tyreek Hill to the house.
That was followed up by a very unique celebration. Tyreek Hill putting his hands in handcuffs. And yes, by the way, they will not say you are arrested. They'll say you are being detained, even though you are in handcuffs. If anybody was curious about that terminology, they will say, hey, yes, am I arrested? No, you are being detained and you are being handcuffed. And he was using Jalen Waddle in that prop, and that is because a couple hours earlier, Tyreek Hill was on the ground due to some reckless driving, and there were 4 cops around him, not really sure how that happened. When I saw the video, there's 2 videos going around. There is a video with Tyreek Hill on the ground where he is in front of the camera. You can easily see him. Then there's another video where Tyreek Hill seems to just be standing there and a cop kind of charges at him, and Tyreek Hill ends up on the ground. So when you watch the video, one thing that I thought was interesting was that, and they said that he wasn't complying. Watch the video, and I thought one thing that was interesting was that there were 4 motorcycles. So this wasn't, and you can look at them, they're all in motorcycle gear, and that's fine. That's a Miami thing. What was interesting to me is when you think 4 cops, you think, okay, something happened, 2 cop cars pulled up, 2 cops in each car. No, these are 4 separate cops that essentially got the call and ended up trying to figure this thing out. Now, Tyreek Hill he is an NFL player, obviously, and he's one of the fastest NFL players in the league, if not the fastest, and probably one of the fastest people in the world. Don't say anything to Noah Lyles about that. But he's not the biggest guy in the world. Tyreek Hill might get to 5'10" on a good day with cleats on. So I thought it was interesting that there were 4 cops around, and we'll kind of take you through everything. I want to get into this great article from Marcel Louis-Jacques from ESPN. This kind of lays everything out, and then we'll get into the sound that we have, and then I will give my thoughts on everything. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was detained by police Sunday outside Hard Rock Stadium for a driving violation, but was released from custody before Miami's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hill is playing in the game and scored a touchdown on an 80-yard pass from Tua. Hill appeared to reenact his detainment to celebrate his touchdown. Fellow wide receiver Jalen Waddle walked behind as Hill held his arms behind his back like he was in handcuffs. Before the game, Hill was seen on video posted on social media face down on the ground as officers placed his hands behind his back and put him in handcuffs. Sources told ESPN's Jeff Darlington that Hill was stopped for speeding and then got into a verbal altercation with police and was subsequently placed in handcuffs. Hill was cited for reckless driving, sources told Darlington. The traffic incident happened about 1 block away from the stadium, the team said. Several teammates saw the incident and stopped to offer support, according to the team. Now, this is where things get a little bit interesting. The Miami-Dade Police Department released a statement from Director Stephanie V. Daniels, who requested an immediate review of the incident. We are aware of the recent detainment of Miami Dolphins player Tyreek Hill by Miami-Dade Police Department officers, she said in a statement. I have requested an immediate review of all details surrounding the incident, and we are also reviewing available body camera footage. Daniels later announced that one of the officers involved in Hill's detainment was placed on administrative duties during the investigation. So to me, if you watch the video, it was pretty obvious that that was the guy who seems to shove Tyreek on the ground. So I think that's the guy who has been placed on leave. Simone, I'm going to throw to you to kind of walk us through the audio that we have, and we can just kind of go from there.
We'll start with just Tyreek kind of opening up about not knowing why he was arrested.
Why do you believe the police put you in handcuffs?
I have no idea, for real. No idea, man. It's crazy. No idea. It wasn't disrespectful, because my mom didn't raise me that way. Didn't cuss, didn't do none of that. So, like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out, man.
Oh, classic he said.
Yeah, and, I guess more of this stuff is going to come out. They placed a cop on administrative leave to just get him out of the picture. I don't know what more is going to come out from it. And let's just get the elephant out the room. Tyreek Hill does have a past himself, so I don't know what goes into things like that. That should have nothing to do with what happened yesterday, but I just want to give context on everything. Let's continue. What do you have next, Simone?
We're going to have a little bit of Tyreek talking about how this arrest can be maybe turned into a positive thing.
Everybody has bad apples in every situation, so I want to be able to, use this platform, to figure out a way to like flip this and, make it a positive on both ends, on my end and then also Miami-Dade, so that way we can team together and, do something positive for the community, because that's what it's all about, bro. Like, you guys are here to like protect us as individuals, and I have a platform and I want to be able to team up with you guys.
So that was Tyreek on the situation, and yeah, he's saying he doesn't know. Not that he's saying he doesn't know why he got pulled over. I think it's why it escalated into him being placed in handcuffs. Did we have anything else, Simone?
We just have a little bit of sound on him just talking about his teammates supporting him and pulling up for the event itself.
Yeah, well, the one thing that we the one thing that he did say that I think was going a bit viral was, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, right? And that was really the biggest quote here as far as the whole situation, because again, I would consider Tyreek Hill pretty darn close to a household name. I would definitely consider him a household name in Miami, right outside the stadium, in what I thought it was a Bentley or some type of, this is not a random
A Lambo.
a Lambo. This is not a random dude. So you knew what you were getting into. If I'm assuming, if the cop didn't know it was Tyreek, I don't think he thought, I mean, it is Miami and you can rent those things, but the chances of the cop not knowing it was Tyreek and it escalating before then, I find to be pretty small. Now, we have, as people say, Tyreek is saying he didn't cuss, he didn't do anything. There was a reported verbal altercation. That could mean anything. So it really is kind of tough to call on this. I had some things that I wanted to say about it as I give my perspective from who I am, and we can kind of just go from there. So let's just get on into it. For me, or to me, this is less about cops and more about people, and the fact that there are a lot of people out there that can't help but reveal who they are, even if it means possibly ruining your life, like this cop may or may not have just done. And you can reveal yourself and ruin your life all you want, but when you have a certain level of power, that's when it puts others in danger. And I think that's what we've seen from time to time. But let's say that the whole claim is, hey, that isn't who someone is, or they acted out of character. You know, like I've said time and time again on this show, my mom was a federal agent and she saw and experienced a lot. And one of the things that we spoke about is the fact that there are just certain jobs where you can't afford to have a bad day. You just can't afford to have a bad day. And it goes without saying that police officers, they're in one of those jobs. So I'm not going to sit here and try to give you an answer as to how to fix it, because I don't have an answer. But what I do know is that this will continue, not because there are just one bad apple or a couple bad apples, or because it was wrong place or wrong time, but because humans are flawed. And honestly, that will never change. But what can change is how those flaws are addressed, so those in power think twice before, they have a bad day. We'll get back to the NFL talk. Stiles and Watkins, Dak gets paid. And we see you, Frank. Want to get into some Raiders as well. I got the lines open. Don't tell Carmichael Dave. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, home runs have been a big story for the A's as they hit 16 on the recent road trip, and they picked it up back at home on Labor Day with 2 by Shea Langoliers, including a walk-off, giving him 25 for the year, including 24 while catching. In the long history of the A's franchise, only Terry Steinbach hit more while behind the plate. He hit 34 back in '96.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver. That includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rate supply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glazer, Alive and Unwell Tour. Friday, September 20th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. She's alive and unwell. Don't miss Nikki Glazer.
Thank you. Good night.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered FlexSteel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain.
Dr. Pamela Maida is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
Good Feet Youth Arch supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain.
And investing in youth arch supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of the spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Silverado savings spectacular now at Maida Chevy with $13,000 off MSRP. Every new Silverado half-ton LTZ in stock after rebates. $12,500 off every Silverado half-ton High Country after rebate. And $11,000 off all new Silverado half-ton RSTs exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Maida Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer. Ends 9/30/24.
Get your tickets for the Marysville Stampede September 14th and 15th at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Minshew has time, pump fake, swatted in the air, intercepted, Buddha Ford. Oh, the biggest man on the field. And as well as he had played the run all day today, give it to the 320-pound, 5'11" refrigerator. Matt got his hand on it. Ford intercepts it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call salt in the wound.
About to get into this Raiders talk, and we got Dak talk, Deshaun Watson talk. Ridiculous. Here we go. This is just to tie a bow on everything. This just came out from the South Florida Police President, Stedman Stahl. He says, Mr. Hill was not immediately cooperative with the officers on scene who, pursuant to policy and for their immediate safety, placed Mr. Hill in handcuffs. Mr. Hill, still uncooperative, refused to sit on the ground and was therefore, and this is my favorite, redirected to the ground.
I love that.
Redirected to the ground. I gotta use that for something.
I'm redirecting you.
I'm redirecting you. I did not push you.
I love that.
I redirected you. Okay. That's right. That's right. So I don't know what else is going to come from that. He received 2 citations for careless driving and a seatbelt violation. There you go. There you go. Okay. Let's get to Frank, who has been patiently waiting to talk some Raiders. 916-339-1140. Frank, you're on Stiles Watkins. What you got for us?
All right, dude, I get you don't like the Raiders. I hear you with Dave in the morning. I know Dave hates the Raiders.
Frank. I don't know how often you listen to this show, but I think I'm the only Raider fan at the station. I'm just a very sad Raiders fan.
You don't sound like it.
Because what is there to be happy about right now, Frank?
Well, first of all, did you watch the game yesterday?
I watched as much as I could.
Okay, well, let's start with that. First of all, the reason we lost the game are the first 4th and 1. We should have never went for it. We gave him 3 points. Then the next fumble we had, Minshew, when he fumbled the ball with his hand, there was another 3 points. Then Zamir White, when he fumbled, there's another 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
We held them to 0 first downs in the first half. Our defense played excellent. They got worn out in the second half. They played so much defense. They finally, we got tired, man. First game of the year. It was hot. They're not used to playing that long. And we got, the Chargers won. Yeah, that's one win. Week 1 is a liar, dude. You don't know what you have in week 1. Look at the Bengals. They lost yesterday. Are you crucifying them? No, everybody gives Joe Burrow a break.
No, I'm not giving. I don't give. Here's my thing, though.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow didn't play, so they're going to be all right. They're fine. We lose. Oh, the Raiders suck.
But
nobody likes us.
You only have. If you look at the schedule, right? Do you agree that if you look at the schedule, the Chargers games are the games that we look at and we think, okay, we probably need to get this one. Isn't that how you feel?
Do we ever win in LA?
I mean, it looked like a home game to me.
It's not a home game, but do we ever win there? We lost last year. When they came to our house, what did we do?
And they didn't make the playoffs.
Well, dude, we got a rookie quarterback now. If McDaniels wouldn't have got rid of Carr with his defense, we'd be a playoff team.
I hear you, Frank. Thanks for the call. I got to get to it. Here's the thing. Nobody was saying that about Carr last year when the Saints stunk. So now all of a sudden, the Saints beat the Panthers and the Raiders should have held on to Carr. Everybody wanted Carr out of there. I don't even necessarily know. Look, I understand when you're frustrated. That's just kind of what it is. So I'm just not really sure what Frank was trying to accomplish with that call. And honestly, Frank was waiting on the line throughout that whole last segment. So Frank was waiting to talk, but I'm not really sure what Frank wanted to talk about because you're just frustrated because the Raiders, they're not good.
The Raiders.
They're just not good. Right? I mean, you look at the Raiders schedule, and this is what I'm saying. That is a game that you think, okay, that's one you probably got to have. Right? I mean, at worst, you can split with the Chargers. But just like everything else, you have to get it back somehow. You have to find a way to get it back. So that means you have to win a game that you probably don't have any business winning. And maybe they will. And look, again, Frank said he heard me on the morning show. So I thank you, Frank, for calling in. I hope you continue to call in. But as far as Burrow is concerned, I've said time and time again that Joe Burrow, first of all, he can't stay healthy. And the Bengals, they're slow starters. But are we really going to do this thing? There is a level of Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl. So are we really going to look at a Joe Burrow loss the same way we look at a Raiders loss? I don't think we should do that. I think we all know better than that. Let's go through the schedule now. So the Raiders just lost to the Chargers, okay, in virtually a home game. And next up, tell them what they won, Johnny. They got to go to Baltimore to play Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They get a break against the Panthers, so we think. They get another break, I guess, against the Browns. They get the Broncos, who I don't know what to do with the Broncos now. They get the Steelers, who don't sleep on Justin Fields anymore. They get the Rams. They get the Chiefs. Then they get Frank's Bengals. Then they get the Dolphins, get the Broncos again. Then they get the Chiefs again. Then they get the Bucks, Baker's balling. Then they get the Falcons, who maybe they figured it out by then. Then they get the Jags. Then they get the Saints and Derek Carr in his home. Then they get the Chargers again. So where are we finding these wins? You can't afford, and look, they lost. So what's the game that they're going to get back? What's the questionable game? Maybe they get the Chiefs again. Maybe they get the Chiefs. I don't really know what there is. It's okay to say your team is not it right now. You don't have to defend your team if your team is not that good. And the Raiders aren't good. And then Frank said, yeah, they're a rookie quarterback. No, the rookie quarterback, I was going to say the rookie quarterback's on the bench. Aiden O'Connell's not a rookie either. So unless you're a rookie to the Raiders, sure, but Gardner Minshew is far from a rookie. You could tell by his mullet and listening to Creed. So that's where we're at with the Raiders right now. But thanks for the call, Frank. You can tell I like talking Raiders. It is what it is. Don't tell Dave.
You're just a Raider hater,
That's
man.
right. But you know what? There is this does lead me to I like to characterize fans, right? And we all have these friends that are fans, and you have pessimistic fans, you have optimistic fans, and then I think you have realistic fans.
Yeah.
And if you're asking me where I fall as far as my fandom for the Raiders, I'm definitely pessimistic. I am.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think there are a lot of fans out there that like to be optimistic about their team. You know, I think same thing with the Niners. You know, you have fans that, we go to the Super Bowl, but we're going to lose. You know, and you have fans that say, no, this is the year. It's the best roster ever. So we have it everywhere. I am a Raider fan. I'm just a pessimistic Raider fan. And I would love to not be. But until they show that they can do anything worth being happy about, then it's just hard for me. You know, and the Shedeur Sanders thing, this guy's blaming his O-line. Yeah, talent-wise, even though he was running for his life against the Mahomes clone in Dylan Raiola, talent-wise, I have been impressed by Shedeur. But I do not like how he handles situations. I do not like him throwing his team under the bus. You have two guys in their prime, and Max Crosby and Devontae Adams. That math ain't mathin'. The timelines don't match up. So really the biggest loser from the Dak Prescott situation was the Raiders. Because there are a lot of people talking about the Raiders being interested in Dak. Now Dak, he rolls up. He gets paid 4 years, $240 million, $231 guaranteed. He's getting $60 million a year. All right. And we can discuss what that means for Brock. It means that Brock can ask for a lot of money based on what Brock does this season. Dak is getting $60 million a year. Joe Burrow is getting $55 million a year. Jordan Love, $55 million a year. Trevor Lawrence, $55. Tua, $53. Jared Goff, $53. Justin Herbert, $52.5. Lamar Jackson, $52. Jalen Hurts, $51. There are some big money QBs out there. And the hope was that Jerry doesn't pay Dak and that the Raiders make a move to get Dak. That's over now. That's over. So I really don't know what they do. I truly do not know what they do. But as far as the Dak Prescott and Cowboys thing going up against the Browns, I mean, I will say, and we'll get into this more during our NFL Blitz, which is coming later in the show, but out of all the shows that they've made for Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime and everything like that, this Deshaun Watson show is going to be incredible because I've never seen, and look, we've already had to deal with Tyreek Hill and we're getting some text on the text line, which I knew would happen, but you know, I can't sit here and not talk about stuff that happened and give my opinion on it. That's what I get paid to do. But we've already talked about that. So I really want to stay away from the Deshaun Watson stuff. But I will say this, okay? If karma does exist, this man is looking like the Monstars took his talent. He is a completely different player. A couple weeks ago, we were doing the NFL tiers, and Chris Watkins read off, he will be back tomorrow. Chris Watkins read off all the NFL, where Deshaun Watson fell on that tier list before everything went down. Tier one. He was a tier one. The guy forgot how to play the position. He got 230 guaranteed. And you got Dan Orlovsky and other people saying, you got to think about Jameis. Now, the problem with the Deshaun Watson thing is that you had Joe Flacco take him to the playoffs. So this is a version of the mental yips of which we have never seen. Yes, he was out of football for a period of time, but this guy has completely lost it. I don't know if anybody has seen anything like it. Not physical, just completely forgot to play the position. And we will all ultimately wonder why. Coming up next, we have a fun conversation. Let's lighten it up a bit. Is it possible that Red Zone might just be a little bit overrated or underrated? 916-339-1140. Let's get more of your calls. Stiles and Watkins, Sackdown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
So Charles to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and toasted all the way down to the 3-yard line. On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
About to get into this red zone conversation. We also have some Scott Hansen sound on Tom Brady that will play during this as well. Real quick, from John and Sack 916. I know Rookie of the Year is a quarterback award, but with Joe Alt allowing no pressures against Max Crosby, do you think if he continues doing this against elite pass rushers that he should be considered? I think he'll be considered, but I think you answered it right there, John. I mean, well, I'll put it to you like this. If the rookie quarterbacks keep playing like how they're playing, you never know. You never know. Because it was not great. Okay, let's get into this Scott Hansen sound on Tom Brady, which I guess he has since apologized for, because that's what we do.
We'll play the whole sound, but it is just a little bit of Tom Brady, of course, doing his debut yesterday for his big TV deal, and he was a little nervous, a little shaky. I don't know what you want to say, but yeah, for this Cowboys-Browns game, and I'll let them take it from there.
Turner back there, that's something to worry about. 71.
This is crazy. Yeah.
Well, they got to cover. If it doesn't go in.
This is a 71-yard attempt. And now the Browns will call a timeout.
Maybe everyone's going to rethink this one.
71 yards. Final timeout.
Oh, come on. Brady's got to get more excited than that in the booth. This is going to
He apologized for that?
Yeah, that he had to go back. There's lots of articles.
Do you have the
morning.
apology?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Because that's crazy. You can't apologize for that. Well, as Simone gets the apology for, I thought it was going to be way more egregious than that. And he's not wrong. Apologizing when you're not wrong. One thing I saw going around social media was whether or not red zone is overrated. And I want to get everyone's thoughts, 916-339-1140. I mean, I'll put it to you like this. Based on the cost now, it's getting close because I told y'all how I got hit because I forgot that I just, had the reoccurring payment and I literally thought fraud was done to my account and it was just NFL ticket and red zone had gone through. So that being said, you want to know how much time I spent watching Red Zone yesterday? Under 30 minutes. Because YouTube, you got the 3 screens, okay? There are enough commercials in between to where you can watch a couple drives here, watch a couple drives there. I got to be honest with you, based on the upsell of Red Zone, I'm not necessarily saying that I think it's overrated, but I can understand why people say it because I feel like I needed to buy it, right? And in reality, there's a couple teams that I'm truly paying attention to. There's my Raiders. There's the Niners because we are the Sacramento flagship, of course. There's just the teams that are just interesting to me. Yesterday, I wanted to see how the rookies, and there's the rotation, right? Wanted to see how the rookies did. Wanted to see how Dak, I wanted to see if Deshaun could maybe pull something off with that defense. But I didn't find myself. At one point, I had it in my 3 slot, my 4 slot, where it's just in the top corner. But half the time, based on how the game was going, that game was on. That game was on. So I'm watching the same game. I got the Colts Texans going on, and then I'm just watching it. So I'm not saying it's overrated, but at the same time, I could see how I'm getting close because I got to look up, what was it, $200 upsell, something like that. And I got all the games anyway. All right, you have this apology, Simone?
I do. He did. So this is over on X, over on Twitter. Awful Announcing had gotten a hold of that soundbite. So he had quote tweet that and said, "This was unfair and inconsiderate by me. Yes, I was saying it tongue in cheek, but I didn't calculate how it may come across. Tom Brady, I apologize. I promise I am rooting for you on this new adventure."
But he stunk. I mean, a lot of people said Tom stunk yesterday.
Yeah.
And
What's your opinion?
Well, he was right. He was right. He was right. I mean, you got to get more excited in a situation like that. And Tom Brady, he's look, I will say this. A lot is going on.
He was nervous.
A lot is going on.
He burped at one point on the call. He's nervous.
No, I know. I hear you. So there should be some grace, but my issue isn't that there should be some grace with Tom Brady. My issue is I didn't think what Scott Hanson, and maybe Scott Hanson nowadays, he's just trying to cover his you-know-what. But that was not rude at all. At all. I mean, I think that's what people like. People like to hear. I mean, why do you think Pat McAfee's doing so well? So I don't have a problem. I mean, if you want to apologize. That's fine. But I would hope that was maybe just a personal thing. And maybe, and I know I got you working hard here, Simone. Maybe it's based on how awful announcing kind of broke it down. If they made it seem awful, announcing probably made it seem worse than it actually was. That's my guess. That's my guess in this because
I mean they played that same. The tweet itself has the same sound that we just played, where it's just that end bit thing, the same thing. He's got to get more excited in the booth.
Yeah, it's
not egregious, huh?
No. Stop with the apologizing here.
It's got to be a professional thing, and it's just professional to professional. I can't dog you on your first walkthrough.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, come on, Brady. All they say is, oh, come on. Brady has got to get more excited than that in the booth. And then it says Scott Hanson, the actual title is Scott Hanson jokingly shaded Tom Brady for his lack of excitement. They go on to say Tom Brady's Fox broadcasting career is underway as he made his debut in Sunday's matchup between the Cowboys and the Browns. And naturally, there are already plenty of varying opinions about his performance, including from NFL Red Zone host Scott Hanson. Then they go on to say what Scott Hanson said. Despite flirting with the idea of letting Aubrey attempt a 71-yard field goal after the penalty, they ultimately decided to throw a pass to the end zone instead to end the half. But again, based on everything have you seen? I mean, Tom Brady kind of getting fried. So the last thing he needs to, not that Tom Brady needs to worry about anything, but the last thing that he should be worried about is a little quip about, and I get it, Scott Hanson, this is his time to shine. So awful announcing, just doing their thing, harvesting clicks. But yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. But to get back to the actual idea of Red Zone, Simone, do you have Red Zone?
I did yesterday.
How much did you watch?
I watched it all entirely.
So you have NFL ticket and Red Zone or just Red Zone?
No, I don't have ticket, and Red Zone was available yesterday, right? Am I not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
maybe that's my issue, is paying for both.
Right.
Maybe I don't need both. So maybe Red Zone isn't overrated if you only have Red Zone. Maybe that's what it is.
I gotcha.
Maybe I just spent a bunch of money for absolutely no reason. That's what it was seeming like. Because if you had to choose, I'm guessing for fantasy and for things like that, you would choose Red Zone. So I get it. Maybe it's my fault for oversaturating my NFL and undersaturating my wallet.
I love Red Zone.
Yeah.
I just got to throw that out there.
Well, now I'm thinking, oh, maybe the issue is I have both. I think that's the issue.
On air.
Thank you, everybody, for breaking that through with me. Coming up next, Jay Glazer trying to put more drama on the Brandon Ayuk situation. Can't we just make it through? We highlight that and how much the Niners can't wait for the game to finally start and get their season underway. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Carmelie.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich.
Be the difference.
Dasha. And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glazer, Alive and Unwell Tour. Friday, September 20th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. She's alive and unwell. Don't miss Nikki Glazer.
Hey, this is Greg Pop-Up. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
DC here for Folsom Lake Kia, where they make car shopping easy with a huge selection of new Kia models, low payments, and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, your trusted dealer in Folsom for over 25 years. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
It's the home opener for Sacramento State Hornets this Saturday, 6 p.m. kickoff versus Nichols. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside to Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports. Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
1 hour down, 3 to go. Chris Watkins, the day off, he will be back. He'll be back, I believe, tomorrow, and we will have some more fun. Covered a lot of topics so far in that 1 hour.
I was gonna say he must be feeling good about his Vikings.
Yeah,
though.
we're gonna get to that. And and honestly, I just am not sure. I'm thinking it's kind of similar to, I don't know if it's the Kings still bringing up Boogie or still bringing up Bagley. I don't know what the comparison is, but I saw people, credentialed media members bringing up how last season there were question marks as far as Trey Lance becoming QB3 behind Sam Darnold, and credentialed media members taking the opportunity yesterday as Sam Darnold balls out against the lowly Giants. Oh, and people thought that there was a conspiracy. Clearly, Darnold was the better guy. Can we just let it go? Just like in Frozen, just let it go. Let Trey just go. You found who? I don't know. When you got the baddie, who still talks about their ex? Okay, you got the baddie. It didn't work out with the one before. You got your dime. You got your 10. Stop talking about your ex. It's embarrassing. Seriously, it's embarrassing. You went to a Super Bowl with this guy. Let it go. You don't have to defend him. They swung and missed. Fans are allowed to argue about who should start. Their fans aren't getting paid the big bucks. And apparently, even if you are getting paid the big bucks, you can swing and miss. So let people argue. If you don't give opinions and all you do is just shell out whatever the team wants to say, right? And the team is never wrong, don't get mad at fans for being fans. That's ridiculous. Okay? Fans are going to be wrong. Front office is going to be wrong. It happens all the time. Just let fans be fans. Stop acting holier than thou. Stop taking these high, we're going to take the high road and of course, blah, 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 blah. We don't even, it's the Giants as well. Ridiculous, man. Just let it go. Let's get to Ben, who wants to talk about the GOAT, or some people's GOAT, Tom Brady, on his first broadcasting. Greg Olsen, everybody's saying justice for Greg Olsen. Ben, what'd you think about Tom Brady yesterday?
You know what? I think we tend to look away from the fact that this guy had such an amazing career and was in so many high pressure moments. So maybe he just needed a little media training, but the dude has been through so much in his career. Mm-hmm. So maybe he's just, he's not reacting to it because he's like, I've done that.
Yeah.
So I think we need to come a break. I still love TB12. And if Stiles and Watkins is still going to be a 50-50 crew, I'd say we give the nomination to, someone back behind the glass as the name Stiles.
I hear you.
So that's all. I think we just take it easy. He'll probably work into it, so it's not a big deal. But that was a professional thing to do, to make that apology. That's all. So the guy's been through too much. Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys. Love you very much. Hope you have a good day.
Thanks for the call, Ben. Great stuff. Yeah, and Simone read the apology from Scott Hansen, and we get it, right? I guess you're entering the broadcast brotherhood, if you will, the broadcast family, and you don't come at one at your own. Maybe that Scott Hansen is just, hey, nowadays, we know, you don't give up the seat. That's what they say in the media biz. You do not give up the seat. So you do whatever you can to not give up the seat. And basically Scott Hansen, hey, we're good. We're good. I didn't mean anything, especially Tom. I will say this, though, when it comes to just the idea, I was thinking about this yesterday, and just the idea that, of course, Tom Brady is going to be good because he's the GOAT, right? He played the toughest position, and he played it at a high level for years. A lot of people think he's the greatest of all time. So people just assume that it would work. But, I was thinking, why didn't we, not that he wanted to do it, but why didn't we make this assumption with Michael Jordan, right? I mean, just because you are the best at something, does that mean that you can, it's similar to almost coaching in a way. Just because you're the best at something, does it automatically mean that skill set is going to translate to a complete different skill, right? I mean, he's the best to ever do it. But does that mean he's going to be the best to ever broadcast? So he will probably get better. They're going to allow him to get better, and he's going to get better because they're going to keep throwing him out there because they paid him $300 million. So he's going to get better regardless. And if you're one of those people that argue, well, other people don't get that opportunity to get better on the job, you're not wrong, but that's Tom Brady, and that's just how the cookie crumbles.
And I think the big conversation here, too, the money.
The money, $300 million. $300 million.
Is it worth it? Yeah.
He's gonna make it worth it. They are going to make sure they get some return on their investment. I think the thing is, Tom Brady's been doing all these different podcasts and things like that. Everything seems so motivational, right? That's the thing. When I hear Tom Brady, everything is, and I guess it's cool. It sounds like we're in the huddle right now and I'm motivating our guys. Just maybe a little less, maybe turn that down less, right? But he'll get there because he's got no choice, because they're paying him a lot of money to get there. And now we are going to get to this Jay Glazer sound. And this was quite random. I think I might have even woken up to this, or by the time baby Stiles had gotten breakfast and everything like that, this had popped up, and it was quite random, if you will. I mean, again, these deals happen, right? And in every other situation, I think the Dak Prescott, and we talked about it last week, Adam Schefter and how he released the Brandon Ayuk deal. Was that the same as how he normally releases deals? He had something to say about Dak Prescott. He said something, the wait is over or something like that, or on the first day of the NFL. But all this stuff that keeps coming out about the Brandon Ayuk situation, I'm just not really sure why it's coming out, or why the dirty laundry in this deal continues to come out, where you just don't hear about this stuff. I mean, we know contract negotiations can get sticky, but we do not hear about the drama in other situations the same way we've heard about this. So we have Jay Glazer here, and this is basically him just randomly breaking news on a day where the team don't even play. They didn't even play yesterday, and I wake up and it's prime time, and this is Jay Glazer on the Brandon Ayuk situation.
How about this? We're calling this the inside scoop. How's this first scoop that nobody knows? The day it actually got done, the 49ers were trading him to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was already en route there. And then all of a sudden, Brandon Ayuk happened to show up early to the facility that day, went downstairs, trying to meet with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan was trying to get in touch with the front office, but they couldn't take his call because they're trying to get the trade done to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Shanahan actually ran all the way upstairs, said, hold this. Let's put a hold on these trade talks right now. Pittsburgh will call you right back. They went down and talked to Ayuk for about 2 hours. And they said, look, you have until the end of practice. We're either trading you to Pittsburgh today, or you could take the deal that's been on the table. It's up to you, but you have till the end of practice. He says, this is where I want to be. Brandon Ayuk remains a 49er.
That's crazy, though. I mean, that is crazy. Kyle Shanahan running up the stairs because they were too busy on the phone with the Steelers. And now I'm confused, because I wonder if the Niners had said uncle, because all the reports were that they wanted a wide receiver. So I wonder if that was, I don't know if it was going to be Pickens. If you're the Steelers, it feels like you'd want to keep that tandem, especially when you're dealing with Russell Wilson, who was in pads, by the way, even though he was inactive and he was getting clowned on, because it was a very Russell Wilson thing to do, to just sit there in pads when you're not even active. But, having either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, it feels like you need to get those guys as many weapons as possible. So it feels like it wouldn't have been Pickens. So I would venture, and knowing the Niners, we'll probably find out what the patch is going to be, or was going to be, next week. But yeah, the idea of Kyle Shanahan running up the stairs and Brandon Ayuk and them just putting their foot on the table and saying, look here, Ayuk, it's over. You're either going to the Steelers or you're taking this deal. And Ayuk, I had said that he was probably waiting for the Commanders, and that is not source. That is just myself thinking, hey, what else could he be waiting for at this point? Once it came out that deal had been on the table for a couple weeks now, and everybody's acting like, well, the Niners, they did their job. It was still in August, so let's pump the brakes there. So I thought they were waiting for the Commanders to make this deal. But yeah, that would have been something else, because look, Steelers, Justin Fields was Justin Fields, and Russell Wilson, I don't know what he would have looked like, but they find a way to get a W, so good for them. I think they still ultimately are going to need something else, especially in that division, and they don't have it right now. So it's going to be tough for them to get over that 5 or never having a losing season hump, and to actually be contenders. I think the Steelers have gotten to the point where I just don't know that they're in Steel Town. People care about, getting to the playoffs, where everybody knows. Chris and I talk a lot about the grindhouse the Grindhouse Grizzlies, right? With Zebo and the crew and how they can, and it's not just them, they always just stick in my mind. But a lot of these teams, and you could liken them to the Vikings as well, right? I mean, you can get to the playoffs, but nobody is afraid of you. You're not even a dark horse pick. You're not even a spicy dark horse pick. So I don't know what the Steelers are going to do there. But getting back to the Niners, yeah, I'm not really I don't know why this stuff keeps coming out. And Jay Glazer, who, if I'm not mistaken, I don't feel like I see Jay Glazer breaking a ton of stuff. So for Jay Glazer to just randomly throw that out. Yesterday was pretty wild. You also had, and this went a little bit viral for me on social media, you also had a special. So Alex Smith, who did a great job, Alex Smith did a special on basically having the two quarterback situation where there's one older quarterback, there's a younger quarterback, and they're kind of battling it out to see who's going to be who. So in having that conversation, right, or in having that conversation, it was a special that they aired during what is NFL Live or whatever it is, NFL kickoff before the games. In having that open, Drew Bledsoe was featured. So Drew Bledsoe was featured on it, and this guy has basically been taken out of a job, very kind of similar to Alex Smith. Drew Bledsoe has lost his job twice, right? So the first time he talks about Tom Brady and how he lost his job to Tom Brady, but Tom Brady, these guys that are young, they have all these questions to ask, and they feel good about talking to the older QB as mentors. And even after Tom Brady became the starter, he still acted like that. He then goes on to say, Drew Bledsoe, hey, straight up, and we'll get that sound for you. He then straight up says to Tony Romo, and Tony, if you're watching, you know that wasn't the case. We actually have the sound, so I don't need to paraphrase it. Let's hear how it sounded. It's pretty funny.
Parcells made the decision to yank me at halftime of a game and throw Romo in there. Really didn't agree with that one. If you're watching this, Romo, you know this is true. The minute that he became the starter, he became pretty big in his own mind. And he was no longer the curious, inquisitive guy. Where that was the difference between him and Tommy. Tommy became the starter. He still was asking all the questions where all of a sudden Romo was the guy that had all the answers.
Wow. Did not have that on my bingo card on the first day of the NFL season, of the full slate of NFL games. But yeah, so it was spicy all day. Did not expect there to be random drama when there were so many games going on, but that's the NFL. They're going to find a way to stay relevant on top of the relevancy of having a ton of games, because why not? Coming up next, we will get that good football sound, football music going. It is time for the NFL Blitz. Let's go around the NFL, the headlines, who won, who lost, and everything in between. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
I had been starting to be sick all the time at work, so I went to the doctor. He asked if people in the office smoked. He identified it as being exposed to secondhand smoke. I decided to sue. It was worth it in the end, California being the first state to be smoke-free in workplaces and restaurants in the country.
Andrea was part of a historic movement to ban smoking in the workplace. Learn how she and other Californians are fighting big tobacco at undo.org.
Saints do bring 4. Young still in trouble as he steps up and now flings it. And that is picked off. Jordan Howden, far side of the field. The ball was overthrown, but Jordan Howden went and got it. Third turnover of the day.
Oh, yes. It is time for the NFL Blitz here on Stiles and Watkins, where we go around the NFL after Sunday's NFL slate with the biggest news, biggest results, and we break down what in the world happened. All right, Simone, let's get that music going. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's start here. And we've already had this conversation, but we're going to have it again. And then we will shut the door because I don't want to be sad anymore, okay, about the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders, they lose to the Los Angeles Chargers 10-22. Here is a crazy stat. The Raiders drafted 6 players. And look, things are turning around slowly but surely, but the Raiders drafted 6 players in the first round from 2019 to 2021. Not one of those players signed a long-term deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. You have Josh Jacobs, Cleveland Farrell, Jonathan Abram. That is in the picture. None of those guys made it. Obviously, Josh Jacobs was probably the most questionable one, as Raider fans have a lot of feelings about Josh Jacobs. I thought he did a great job while he was with the Raiders. He is with the Packers now and didn't look outstanding, but the Raiders, they haven't looked outstanding either. So we will shut the door on the Raiders for now.
Not before the fight. We didn't even cover the fight.
You have the fight. You want to play the fight?
I got a little bit of the fight.
Play the fight.
Edwards still moving the feet, and he'll be short.
Boy, it is
chippy.
That's Palmer.
And that is Palmer again.
Yeah, it's good.
They are
fight.
full on brawling. It is a full brawl, and now McConkey in there. There are punches being thrown. Palmer and Trayvon Merrick are not letting up. It's a.
And then you got to hear Jim Harbaugh. He gets his first. Who got it better than us? Nobody. I saw some, and there were fights in the game. There were fights in the stands. Just a complete mess. I saw some people a bit confused, Simone. I don't know if you already knew this, but some Niners fans thought that the who's got it better than us, nobody was a Niners thing.
Yeah.
And then, no, it's a Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, he takes it with him.
How was it awkward hearing that?
I didn't hear it.
Smart. All right, next you have the big game. Sam Darnold getting it done 28-6 against the New York Football Giants. They might have to change the name the way they've been playing. Sam Darnold cooked. Vikings handle the Giants. Here is a crazy Daniel Jones stat, which is just incredible. Daniel Jones has thrown 3 pick sixes and only 2 touchdowns since signing his 4-year, $160 million deal.
Say it slower for the people in the back, please.
He has thrown 3 pick sixes and only 2 touchdowns since signing his 4-year, $160 million. He's thrown more pick sixes than touchdowns.
Yeah.
The only thing saving the Giants is Deshaun Watson and the Browns, because that is the worst contract. But Deshaun is saving the Giants from having the worst contract.
Our old PD was the sole non-survivor who had picked and selected the Giants to win.
Really?
He's going to have to buy back in, if you know what I mean.
Wow. Yeah, that is bold strategy, right? I might have, honestly, I got to look. I got to look at our picks, too, because we did picks on Friday. I don't think I picked the Giants. I think I stayed away, especially with Chris looking straight into my eyes. I don't think I did, but I will check on that. As we get into the Saints, could they be the Timberwolves? The second-year wonder. Derek Carr the first year, not much to talk about. Derek Carr the second year, could it be real deal? Or, and hear me out, if there are any Raider fans that are worried here about we moved on for Carr, or maybe the Panthers stink. Okay, I saw Bryce Young try to make a move, and he did get in. It was his first rushing touchdown, I believe, of his career, and he almost fell on his face. He tried to jiggy. He did jiggy, but he almost fell down. And anybody who, I don't know if I was on these airwaves yet, but I was in the camp. The Saints, weak division. Derek Carr still got something left in the tank. I'm big on Alvin Kamara. They got Chris Olave. They got some weapons, and they did absolutely nothing. I think I lost my survivor from the Saints. And now this year, could it be real? Maybe, but we're not going to learn that going up against the Panthers. Next, Kirk Cousins, the Dirty Bird dud. As Kirk Cousins, I just saw, he threw for 19 yards and a half. I mean, it was terrible.
Career low.
It was terrible. That was one of the games in my rotation because I thought it was going to be electric. I know that game probably burned some people as well because you just thought Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson, all those touchdown parlays I saw, because now my feed is just filled with it from clicking one thing. Bijan, he ruined everybody's touchdown parlay because he couldn't get in. He didn't have a bad game, but he couldn't get in. He couldn't do anything. The Falcons just seemed to be a mess. And the Steelers with Justin Fields, the QB number 2 on the depth chart, gets a W. Steelers win 18-10. Next, Colts on the rise. And are there too many weapons for one C.J. Stroud? The Texans squeak out a victory against the Colts. Don't sleep on the Colts defense. And Chris Watkins, I know for a fact, because he's a huge Anthony Richardson guy, and he texted me and Nate as soon as Anthony Richardson had that ridiculous 60-yard throw to Pierce. Texans do get the victory, though, 29-27. And I saw a stat. At one point, it was C.J. Stroud had thrown to either 5 or 6 receivers, but it was for, I don't know, 50 yards, something ridiculously low. And C.J. Stroud didn't necessarily light it up. They get the W, but it seems like there might be too many options. I mean, Joe Mixon, which is never a bad thing. They definitely have to iron some things out. To me, that was and they have a lot of expectations. I just think the Texans should be very glad that they got out of there with the W. You have, obviously, Stephon Diggs. You have Tank Dell. You have a ton of weapons, and they might need to figure out what the priority list and hierarchy list is there. But they will face the Colts again, of course, in that division. And the Colts, they might be something to keep an eye on. That defense is legit. Next, Caleb got an A on the group project, but didn't do anything. Caleb Williams gets his W against the Bears, as he really, really just didn't play well, but did enough. And it was more about Mayo Man blowing it. You had Mayo Man with 127 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Caleb Williams, 93 yards, 14 for 29. Did not throw for a touchdown, did not score a touchdown, but the defense did ball out, and the Bears get a W. He is the first number 1 overall quarterback to win in his rookie debut since 2002. Next up, the Seahawks do their weird Seahawks thing. The Seahawks battle with the Broncos. It's a game that I can't remember the line off the top of my head, but you got a rookie quarterback, and it's a game that you think the Seahawks should handle pretty easily, but that's just not what the Seahawks do. They find ways to just really grind out every single game. I still know nothing about the Seahawks. They got a W. I'm not really that high on the Seahawks. The Broncos and their guy, Bo Nix, 138 yards, 2 interceptions. He's a rookie, and that's what you're going to get. I know a lot of people, again, he is one of those dudes who balled out in the preseason, but we're learning that it is a bit different. Geno Smith, 171 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 1 outstanding run from Geno Smith. But they win 26-20. They're not better than the Niners. I don't think the Niners have anything to worry about there. Next up, Baker might actually be a baller. Yes, he went up against rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels, but Baker Mayfield, as much as it doesn't really make sense, Baker Mayfield, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield has been balling. Okay, now the Commanders probably won't be very good, but Baker Mayfield, I mean, you put up a stat line like that, you got to pay attention. And again, that goes back to the lowly Browns, who moved off of Baker after winning a playoff game, and Baker gets his bag and is doing his thing for the Bucks. And last but not least, showdown in Motown. It did not disappoint, but do either of those teams scare you? The Rams, I have no clue why the Rams are always injured.
They're decimated. They were absolutely decimated.
But they even said on
night.
the broadcast they didn't even play anybody during the preseason. The Rams are just habitually injured. Yeah. They're always injured, and that's why I don't worry about them. They lose Puka Nacua. Okay, he has to get an MRI. and figure out what's going on with him. They finally get Cooper Kupp. They just can't put it all together. Stafford is getting his foot taped up. I just can't trust the Rams because they can't stay healthy. And you have a guy in Detroit, Jameson Williams, who, he flies, but at the same time, people talk about Devontae Smith. That's a small wide receiver. And Jameson Williams, he had the ACL injury coming out of Alabama. You thought he might have been done. He tapes up his ankle. They say on the broadcast that's the thinnest position for the Lions. On top of that, I love Jared Goff. And shout out to Cal, by the way, saw that on the Sack Chat. Cal taking care of Auburn, and Auburn was being real disrespectful to Cal. But you have Jared Goff, who a lot of people still have question marks on him. If you're the Niners, and we'll get into this a little bit later, there's just not much to worry about there. I don't see it. I don't see an NFC team scaring the Niners.
Woof, look at this tweet here. To recap, the Rams are now missing starting left tackle, backup left tackle, starting right tackle, starting cornerback, starting wide receiver, and starting left guard.
Yeah, it's every season with them. And a lot of people had questions about the Niners. Remember all those years where the Niners couldn't stay healthy? It seems like the Rams might need to do some type of overhaul because Stafford doesn't have that much time left, and you are kind of wasting his time when you can't put together a healthy roster for him. Coming up next, we take a break from the NFL and we go around the NBA as a big man in Portland is on the trade block and a point guard in the West gets paid. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? You were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks or online sacksuperstore.com. Big inventory and the right deal. Experience it for yourself and see why their customers drive away smiling. It's the Sack Superstore difference.
The TaylorMade Tour Van is a one-stop shop for PGA Tour players to get their clubs to exact specifications. And now you can get the same experience at Hagen Oaks when the TaylorMade Tour Van brings their fitting skills to you. On September 20th and 21st, you can be fitted at Hagen Oaks and have your clubs built by the TaylorMade Tour Van. A $25 fitting fee is refundable with any club purchase. Whether you're interested in the QI-10 or P770, call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 to reserve your spot.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Hard Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Harmony.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha.
And
And more. Saturday, September 28th at Hard Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
The 90th annual Marysville Stampede is coming to Marysville's Cotton Rosser Arena this Saturday and Sunday. It's a whole weekend of the best pro rodeo action for the whole family. Bareback, saddle bronc, and bull riding. Plus the BMX motorcycle show. It's just $25 for adults and $15 for kids 4 to 12. The 90th annual Marysville Stampede, Saturday at 5 p.m. and Sunday at 3:30 p.m. at the Cotton Rosser Arena in Marysville. Get your tickets at MarysvilleStampede.com.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing
nonstop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. Okay, the guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years. I looked at him, I said, "Are you kidding me? I've been here for 14. Where have you been?" I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Taste on a whole new level at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Enjoy the height of hospitality, whether you're craving an upscale steakhouse, authentic Chinese hot pot and dim sum, or having a refreshing beverage while watching the game. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
It's the home opener for Sacramento State Hornets this Saturday, 6 p.m. kickoff versus Nichols. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Watkins out today. He'll be back. And I'm sure he'll want to talk about his Vikings. You know, Chris is actually pretty chill. You know, if the Raiders were good, I'd be insufferable. Right? Chris, I will give him his time. A lot of times I have to say, hey, man, you want to talk about the Vikings? You know, I'll tell him off air, hey, man, you want to talk about the Vikings? When J.J. McCarthy was playing really well, hey, man, you want to talk about the Vikings? I am interested, though, based on how we've seen these preseason darlings not really translate, how J.J. McCarthy would have looked, because he was one of those kind of guys who training camp looked really good. So I am curious how that would have ended up, but we'll have to wait for next year as we go around the NBA. And we'll get back to, we have more Niners coming up, more NFL. We also have a Susan Slusser article on the A's and the Giants that, you know, if it's me, we're going to talk some baseball. And I found it very interesting, so we will get into that as well. But first, Shams talking about a point guard getting the bag. Denver and Jamal Murray have agreed on a 4-year, $209 million maximum contract extension. Murray is now under contract for $245 million through 2029. Now, Jamal Murray is probably, in my opinion, one of the most confusing point guards in the league. He's never been an all-star. He's a champion. He is clutch as you know what. But as far as where he is in the pantheon of other point guards right now, I really don't know who I'm putting him over. I'm not putting him over. I'm definitely not putting him over De'Aaron. I'm not putting him over Ja. I'm not putting him, I mean, I'm not even going to bring up Steph, but I'm not putting him over a lot of these guys, but he is a really, really good number 2. I'm looking at some of these point guards here, whether or not you would take him. I mean, are you taking Jamal Murray over, it's so funny they keep calling Luka a point guard, but I guess so. I'm not taking him, obviously, no to Shea, no to Luka, no to Brunson. I don't think I'm taking Jamal Murray over Tyrese Halliburton, but I think we're getting warmer. I think we're getting warmer when we talk about Kyrie, just because Kyrie is, neither of them are terribly consistent, but they both are really clutch. I think I'm taking him over LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball just hasn't done anything as far as, you know, he just can't stay healthy, but we'll see what LaMelo becomes. When it comes to Jamal Murray or Trae Young, I'll probably take Jamal Murray just because of what he's done. But here comes the question. If Trae Young was on that Nuggets team, do they win the whole thing? Same, just like they did, not this past year, obviously, but the year before. Maybe, I think so. Jamal Murray and Chris talked about this last week when Michael Malone, really, I think the interesting part about this is that the whole idea of Michael Malone not agreeing with the front office was kind of based on not Jamal Murray specifically, but in a way, kind of, because Michael Malone wants to play hard-nosed defense and Jamal Murray isn't really that much of a defender. So he definitely wouldn't like Trae Young, but I think I would say that they could have won. They could have won, So Jamal Murray has never had to carry a load like Trae Young. They both have injury issues. So I think I might be convincing myself to take Trae Young over Jamal Murray. I really just don't know where he lands. I'm not taking him over De'Aaron. I'm not taking him over Tyrese. I'm not taking him over Damian Lillard. I don't even know if I'm taking him over Cade Cunningham, to be completely honest. But he's just a guy who then you have that next level. But he's definitely better than Fred VanVleet. He's definitely better than D'Angelo Russell. He's definitely better than obviously some of these lesser guys. So I just think he is a tier. He is a mid-tier 2 guy with just a high big game clutch performance. If that was and it probably is on 2K, his clutch is just out of the water, which I think does count for a lot. So if you look at the Nuggets now, who Chris and I have not been high on, if you look at the Nuggets now and you ask the question, hey, are we sleeping on them? I think as we bring it back to the Kings, this puts things in perspective. You got Jokic. He is under contract until 2027. Jamal Murray is under contract until 2029. Michael Porter Jr. is under contract until 2026. And Aaron Gordon is under contract until 2025. Really, that's their core, right? So how much do you believe in that core? I think it really just speaks to how ridiculous the Western Conference is, because I see that core and Chris sees that core, and nothing, Jamal Murray being locked down doesn't really change my thought. It's crazy that that's not enough. I think that Michael Porter Jr. is probably the weak link there because he just doesn't really do much besides shoot, and they need somebody to pull it all together. So you have a Jokic who is ridiculous. You have a Jamal Murray who is just not consistent. You have an Aaron Gordon who is a defense first guy. I think his offense is a little bit underrated, but a defense first guy, but he's limited. And you have Michael Porter Jr. who is limited. So you have 3 limited dudes who can raise their game. And then you have Jokic, right? So I don't think I'm sleeping on them personally. I could see them still being a 4 seed, but I do not see them in the top. I would be very, very surprised if they're in the top 3. Now, I don't think I see them falling to the play-in or a 6 seed, but yeah, I see them sitting between, to be honest, 4 or 5. I could see them dropping to 6. I mean, the other thing is Jokic has been incredibly healthy. This is a couple years now where he had to play with the plumbers a couple of years ago against the Warriors. This has been a couple of years now of Jokic just night in, night out. We talk about Sabonis, night in, night out, just playing. So yeah, a lot can happen with the Nuggets, but are we sleeping on them? And Clutch Points asked the question, can they make another finals run? Not just them alone. I don't think so. Next on Around the NBA, Zach LaVine, the Bulls. This is from Joe Cowley, who covers the Bulls. The Bulls are working on mending their relationship with Zach LaVine. Surprise, surprise. You had no choice. You ever, not to get too dark here, but those couples where can't really afford to get divorced, right? I mean, maybe we should try counseling again. Maybe we can make this work because we really don't have a choice, right? The cost for the lawyers, then you got to deal with the courts, then you got to split up. Let's just see if we can make this thing work because we just can't make it alone. That's what's happening here with the Chicago Bulls and one Zach LaVine, and maybe it works out for them. I think that Zach LaVine, his contract is bad, but there could be a lot of bad contracts coming up, and timing is everything. And I do think that he's getting to the point where he's feeling a little bit undervalued and disrespected, and maybe he can harness that and they can figure something out. They both kind of need each other, and nobody wants him at that price point. So you got to figure it out. Coming up next, the big man in Portland, Brian Windhorst says could be available. Should the Kings get into that conversation? Maybe nobody. Chris ain't here. Nate ain't here. So maybe the trade machine makes an appearance. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty event is back. From now until September 19th, score over 200 daily beauty steals at 50% off in every category. And check Ulta.com daily to get them all before they're gone. Take 50% off bestsellers from brands like Estee Lauder and Supergoop. Plus, say hello to new finds from brands like Dyson and Sol de Janeiro. And Ilia is now at Ulta Beauty in select stores and online. Shop in-store at Ulta.com or try pickup today. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful. Conditions apply while supplies last.
Welcome to Staples. My son's teacher emailed his back-to-school list. He needs crayons and notebooks. With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find low prices on tons of school supplies. And all in stock. Now they're saying he needs folders and glue. You got it. And markers? Of course. Oh, geez. Might I suggest 2 carts?
Staples has everything for school in stock and priced low. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and 2-pocket poly folders are only 50 cents each at Staples. Ends 9/14, in-store only, limit 10 while supplies last.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glazer, Alive and Unwell Tour. Friday, September 20th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. She's alive and unwell. Don't miss Nikki Glazer.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sacktown Sports.
I can't wait till later in the show to talk about this Kendrick Lamar thing. Kendrick Lamar, I think if I'm not mistaken, it said he is the first rapper to solo headline the Super Bowl.
I believe it.
I'm anxious, Simone. I'm anxious. But we'll get into it.
Good tease.
It's in the 1 o'clock hour. What we're going to get into right now is a name that has been brought up before. And I have some bad news I spent the break trying to cook up a trade, and I'll continue to work on it. But this right now, there is an issue with it. But this is for one. Robert Williams is a potential trade candidate, according to Brian Windhorst. Here is the quote. A guy to watch who is very tradable is the Time Lord, one of the great nicknames in the whole NBA. Robert Williams coming back off injury, obviously. He's a guy who's had repeated injury problems, but he makes $13 million. They may be willing to part with him, and he could go to a contender and be a significant piece if he is healthy. Well, it's funny. They may – okay, well, he is very tradable, and then they may be willing to part with him. So if he's very tradable, that sounds like they should definitely be willing to part with him. But nonetheless, I try to cook up, as the Kings are always trying to get better as far as the defense in the paint. But the problem is, as Windhorst said, you have Time Lord. Technically, it's $12.4 million, at least according to Fanspo. The issue is you'd honestly have to make it some type of two-player trade, because that's too much money based on who you have. I mean, we're talking about right now, all the guys that are making significant money, you're not going to touch, right? Obviously, Kevin Huerter making 16.8, you're not going to have that conversation. If Matisse Thybulle, he makes $11 million, which you wish that he made a little bit less than that. So that's $23 million if you wanted to do it. And then you have the side that nobody thinks about, which is the Blazers side. So in theory, you could do Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles for Robert Williams and Matisse Thybulle, but I don't know if either team does that deal. I mean, I think the Kings might be more willing to do it, but you're giving up a Kevin Huerter who, look, everybody is looking for a shooter. He is coming off of injury, but, you know, it's hard to say no to offense as much as you want defense, and you're giving it up for a guy in Matisse Thybulle who is just not going to help you offensively at all, even though he is a wing and you would like that size. He goes as a shooting guard wing, so he's not even a bigger wing at 6'5". And then you have Robert Williams, who honestly, you're taking a chance on his health, man. I mean, he's struggled with injury since 2022 when he, you know, wasn't as available as people would have liked for the Celtics and the Warriors the first go round with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So I think that's a bit of a gamble on both ends. And if you're the Blazers, I'm not really sure why you would want Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles when you're probably in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. So I hate to tell you, Kings fans, if you were interested in shoring up that backup center position, obviously you got Alex Len. But yeah, as far as Robert Williams is concerned, that $12.4 million, that kind of messes everything up. And really, if you look at the Kings right now, the conversation has been about Kevin Huerter. And I think contenders are interested in Kevin Huerter. I don't think that a Blazers team would be interested in Kevin Huerter. You go down the rest of this roster. You get Trey Lyles at $8 million. You got Keegan at 8.8, but obviously that we shouldn't even waste our breath talking about that. Then you get Trey Lyles at $8 million. Jalen McDaniels, who you cannot move yet. He's recently traded. You're not moving Devin Carter. I don't know Colby Jones' value. You're not moving Keon Ellis in a deal like this. And then you get into all the other guys that they recently added. So the Kings, there may be a reason that Monty McNair said what he said on these airways as far as the Kings not doing much, because they don't really have a lot of chips to move besides Kevin Huerter. So unless we get into the conversation of a 3-team deal, it's going to be hard for the Kings to move anybody, because these teams that are stinkers, right? And that goes for the Nets too. Why would the Nets want Kevin Huerter? I don't know why the Nets would want Kevin Huerter. You know, you start talking about picks and things like that. If you're trying to put a decent product out there, but you're also trying to get Cooper Flag at this point and let your young guys cook a little bit. So I could see the Nets over the Blazers. The Blazers, the issue there, and I know that Kevin Huerter has kind of been put into this wing conversation just simply because the Kings have a lot of guards. But the Blazers, they already have, and they don't all do the same thing, but you you got Anthony Simons, you got Scoot Henderson, you got Shaden Sharp, you have you have too many guys that are, it's the same issue, a different version of the same issue that the Kings have. So I don't think that the Kings have the pieces to even get into the Time Lord conversation. I think it would be interesting to do so. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't go to a Western Conference team. He probably will, but yeah, I'll try to continue Cook while I'm waiting during the break, but I don't see it happening. Chris Murray, I guess you could maybe throw him in. That gets you to 15 mil, but again, Kevin Huerter is kind of an acquired taste. Not that everybody is always looking for a shooter unless you're kind of trying to tank. And I think that's what the Blazers might be trying to do unofficially. You know, they got Donovan Clingan, and we talked, I mean, they have a couple guys on their roster. I mean, DeAndre Ayton, 34 mil a year. A lot of people think that might be a little bit too steep. I think there's some people that might kick the tires. Jeremy Grant, we haven't talked about that name in a long time. Jeremy Grant, the whole decision, or seems like he wants to stay. Not that that matters, but he wants to stay. They go get Denny Avdia, which, hey, at least he's only 23 years old. So there probably will be a fire sale on the Blazers. I'm just not sure what you still have to make money work, right? Fire sale, that includes, hey, we don't have to use this pick or that pick. You still have to make the money work. And that's why I think that the fire sale that the Blazers have, just based on how the money matches up, doesn't make a ton of sense for the Kings to get into that conversation. Because even Matisse Thybulle, right? He's 27. He's right in his prime. Could use a defensive wing, right? Everybody can. But again, at 11 mil, are you trading Trey Lyles for Matisse Thybulle? In this offense, can you really afford to have a guy? And that's still, you might have to throw in another piece. That still is probably not enough, right? Or offensively, yes, you want to make sure that you can have somebody that can at least shoot an open three, and Matisse Thybulle can barely do that. On top of that, he's making more than Trey Lyles. And again, I'll take it to the Blazers. Why would the Blazers want 28-year-old Trey Lyles? I get, he's making $3 million less than Matisse. But besides that, I don't even know why they would want somebody who doesn't fit that age range. That's why they would be moving off of Matisse. They're just going super young and moving from there, right? They already have their two vets. I mean, Anthony Simons is 25, but they already have their two vets, and DeAndre Ayton, who's 26, and Jeremy Grant, who's 30. So I don't think that they feel like they need anyone else. And they're just a young team, and they're just kind of doing whatever it is that they're trying to do at this point. So really interesting from Brian Windhorst, but I don't see a path right now. Now, maybe you get close to the trade deadline and something happens where you're just getting eaten up inside. Then maybe you think about it. Maybe the offense is humming and Kevin Huerter, hasn't figured it out, or Trey Lyles hasn't figured it out, or you try to make the money work somehow. But I feel like it's just a little bit too different, right? A little bit too different of a money situation, or a little off as far as the Kings and Blazers. But there will be a team. I do think he will get moved. I think a lot of these guys are going to get moved on the Blazers. I just am not sure when. I think that Jeremy Grant, I mean, there's just no need to pay a guy 30 mil to lose, right? And there's definitely no need to pay two guys nearly 60 or over $60 million to lose in DeAndre Ayton and Jeremy Grant. That's just bad business. So one of them is, especially when you drafted one of the guys' replacement with DeAndre Ayton. So, and Donovan Clingan. So I think that one of these guys is going to get moved. It's just a matter of who and when. It makes more sense for DeAndre Ayton, but who wants to pay DeAndre Ayton that type of money? You probably find somebody. You probably find somebody at some point. So that is the story, and we have gone around the NBA. Coming up next, we get into Susan Slusser's article on the A's and the Giants. A lot of meat on that bone. Did the Giants know what they were doing? And A's fans, want to hear from you. There is a master plan with the Giants, and I want to hear from you, 916-339-1140. Do you think it will actually work? Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered FlexSteel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sacktown Sports.
A Styles today. And Simone, of course. Simone and Styles, the two S's, got to stick together. And when you give, and you know what? Chris, he always lets me cook when it comes to baseball. So I'm not going to say when it's just me, I'll cook baseball, but I'm definitely going to do it if he isn't out. And don't worry, we have plenty more. We're 2 hours through. We've talked a ton of football, and we'll continue to do that. Talked a little bit of NBA. By the way, De'Aaron Fox, the leak is out. And I just got to say this right now before we get into this Susan Slusser San Francisco Chronicle article. I got to give a shout out to one Brendan Nunez because, you know, life is about pushing boundaries, right? You got to push boundaries to feel alive. And Brendan Nunez, he was the first with this shoe situation. Okay. And now it's out. It's the shoe has been confirmed for De'Aaron Fox. His shoe deal with Curry made a bunch of news last year, and the actual shoe is out. I'm still looking for specific pictures of the shoe. When I was on Sneaker News and I just saw two, like details of it, but not just the act. Can I just see the actual shoe? I'm trying to just see the actual shoe. But Brendan Nunez, if you follow him, there's a reason you should follow him on social media. Brendan Nunez was way ahead of this and had the shoe. And as funny as it sounds, these are the types of things in this business where you get respect when you are able to break things before, the Bleacher Reports of the world and outlets like that. It means something. So I want to give a shout out to Brendan because Brendan was definitely on this before everybody else. As we get back into this Susan Slusser article, and you can check that out. I think we have an article right now on the first look at the De'Aaron Fox new Curry ones. This is from Brendan Nunez. It's on sacktownsports.com. There will be low cut with a strap. So if you got ankle issues, just be careful. Just be careful. But I'm trying to get a full look at it, and Brendan has a link to the Sneaker News, and he's probably thinking, I had this picture. I already had this picture. So shout out Brendan. Go check that out at sacktownsports.com as we get into this Susan Slusser article. And there is a ton. I can't go over everything in this article. Go check it out on San Francisco Chronicle if you haven't seen it. But I do want to highlight the end of the conversation. And I want to open up the phone lines, 916-339-1140, because it seems like the Giants have a master plan. And I'm curious if you are an A's fan, if you are a Giants fan, if you are a fan of neither team. The Giants have a plan. And I want your help here to liken this to other situations outside of baseball to whether or not this has ever happened. And there's one obvious one that I'm going to get into that also involves the Bay Area, but let me go ahead and read this. This is how Susan Slusser ends her article. The article is MLB players, agents wrap their heads around the A's playing in Sacramento. And there is a quote that says, "It's going to suck." And that is from one of the players. Obviously throughout the article, Rhys Hoskins says, "I'm so excited for the city. Sacramento is a sleeper of a town. There will be a lot of moving parts, and it's not going to feel like the big leagues, but they're going to sell out, and I'm excited for everyone to see what Sacramento is about." Obviously, Rhys Hoskins from the Sacramento area, and Rhys Hoskins now with the Brewers. I don't believe the Brewers play the A's, but that'll be fun whenever Rhys gets to come on home. I'm sure that'll be a great time. So let's get into how Susan ends the article. She talked to agents as well. And these are the last two paragraphs, and this is what she says. There is one more element that this agent wanted to make clear. The Giants, even with their River Cats taking one for the team by sharing their stadium, are going to emerge in tremendous shape when the A's leave Oakland. And even better shape when that franchise is entirely out of Northern California. This is what the agent goes on to say. In 10 years, the Giants are going to generate more revenue than the New York Yankees, the agent said. They'll have all the Bay Area and half of the state. They'll have their AAA team in Sacramento, their low A team in San Jose. They own their stadium. They're developing around it. San Francisco, Oakland, Silicon Valley, Sacramento, The Giants are about to become the monsters of Major League Baseball. And as we sat here, one of the first shows Chris and I did was about that vote, whether or not the A's were going to move or not. And we sat here and talked about the Giants. Maybe they could have said no in solidarity. I believe every team voted for it. So as far as I know, that's still majority. And the Giants could have voted against it, but they didn't. And maybe now we know that there's a reason. The Giants, going back to when they didn't want to allow the A's to go to San Jose, Whitey had a great story on that, on how the A's initially allowed the Giants to play in San Jose, then the Giants wouldn't give it back. It's Whitey tells the story, of course, better than anybody, and maybe we'll have him tell it again. But they would not let the A's go to San Jose. That was their territory. Okay. They essentially not only blocked the A's from going to San Jose, but said, we're going to help you. You know what, A's? We're going to help you go to Sacramento. And maybe to the deeper thinker, they knew what the Giants were trying to do. But to some people just looking at things at the surface, maybe they didn't realize it. The Giants never wanted to help the A's because the Giants had an ultimate plan. And the plan, as soon as Vivek stood up there and talked about the A's spending time in Sacramento, that plan was in motion. And the plan is to get the A's out of Northern California. And once that happens, and this is why I want to open the phone lines, once that happens, I do wonder if their plan of you have to like us because we're the only ones will work. And the only thing that I have to compare it to off the top of my head, please remind me if there are other situations like this, would be the other two Bay Area teams with the Niners and the Raiders. And based on our call from our guy Frank earlier in the show and the ins and outs of the Raider fans that we speak to on this show, it does not feel like a ton of Raider fans, even though their team left Oakland. Maybe it's a little bit different because they went to LA and they're just a brand. But those, and they haven't been good either. But those fans didn't decide, oh, well, the Raiders are gone now. I guess I'll be Niner fans. Would be really easy because the Niners have been really good. So I'm curious, as I throw it out, 916-339-1140, do you have any friends? Number one, do you have any friends that were Raider fans and then switched over to the Niners, specifically the Niners, because we have to keep it in market? Are there any situations that I'm not thinking about right now where a team left and you had no other choice as to be a fan of the other team? These are very specific situations. And then on top of that, if you are an A's fan, once the Giants, you are the most maligned A's fan there is. You can't stand Fisher. You don't want to look at anything Oakland A's. You're so torn. Will you think about becoming a Giants fan? Because I think the issue here is that the Giants, it's not separate, right? The Niners, as far as I know, off the top of my head, the Niners had nothing to do with the Raiders leaving. The Raiders, they had Mount Davis, and it was a bunch of drama, and that was it. The Giants have literally been a part of the A's leaving. So it would be easier if the Giants had nothing to do with it. The A's beginning their move to leave Oakland and then go to Vegas, it is all starting with the Giants allowing them to play for the River Cats. So even if you said, oh, well, fine, I'll just be a Giants fan because screw the A's, you can't even do that without any guilt because the Giants were a part of the move. So as much as we talk about, we don't even count A's fans. When we talk about fan bases that are just struggling, we talk about the Browns, right, and things like that. This is beyond anything. You are literally stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I don't know what anybody is going to do. But the Giants, on the other hand, they feel like at the end of the day, time heals all wounds. You're going to want to take your kid to a game, and once you take that kid to a game, it's going to have to be the Giants. It might even be the Giants playing the A's. but it's going to have to be the Giants. So I don't know. The Giants here from the 209, the Giants organization is 100% complicit in the demise of the A's. Shame that one franchise could impact another so negatively. And now they're saying, or now their plan, according to this agent, is that we've monopolized everything. We're going to own all of Northern Cal. If you like baseball in Northern California, you have to be a Giants fan. I guess if you were an A's fan. That's what they think. And I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go. From a different 209 or the same 209, as an A's Raider fan, I will never switch to the Niners or Giants. At the end of the day, I'm just not a fan of those organizations. Geography isn't the deciding factor anymore. And I get that. But then I guess the question is, are you still going to be a fan of the A's? So I really do feel for A's fans. And I'm sure A's fans are the last thing people, you hate when people say, oh man, I'm really sorry for the situation. You don't want anybody to feel bad for you. What am I going to do with that? You lose your job. You got to pay your bills. Somebody says, oh man, I'm so sorry you lost your job. What am I going to do with that? I'm not asking for a handout, and I don't know really what I want. But I'm sure A's fans are tired of hearing, I feel so bad for A's fans. I'm tired of hearing that. I'm sure they're tired of hearing that. From the 530, Raider fans are Niners haters. That's almost universal. A's fans don't hate the Giants in general, I don't believe. And I think 530, you're hitting on exactly what the Giants are banking on. I wonder how many, and look, we do this. If you listen to a radio show every day, number one, thank you for listening, because you are helping me get to where I want to go. So I appreciate it. But if you are listening to a sports show every day, you are entrenched in sports, right? So let's remove ourselves, as somebody said earlier on the text line, from our sports bubble and just think about your friend that doesn't really follow sports, or think about your fair weather fan that would show up when the A's were good and they don't know the details. And honestly, when when everything came out about the A's, that really showed how much people didn't know, whether it was about the city of Oakland. A lot of people don't know a lot of stuff. So we handle it when we get calls and we get texts, we handle people that feel like they know a good bit about the situation, right? Now let's take people that think they know about the situation. And now let's take people who don't really know about the situation. And now let's take people that don't even care about the situation. And the Giants are saying, if you look at a pie chart, you might be able to say that the people that truly care about the fact that we helped, right? How many A's fans out there know that the River Cats, it's associated with the Giants and the Giants didn't vote? How many? They are banking on the fact that most fans don't know about that. Then out of the fans that don't know about that, there's also a group of fans that don't care about that. So the Giants believe that they will be able to monopolize this whole thing. And the bottom line is they don't have to get everybody. All they have to do is grow and continue to grow. And that's why last week they said Farhan's safe, because they're still making money. They're still selling out. Now you're going to lose the A's, and there will be a group of A's fans that say, I guess I'll just be Giants fans. I hate that they have basically manipulated the situation to where you have to choose the lesser of two evils. You have to choose between, if you're an A's fan, your hate for John Fisher or your hate for the Giants and how they were complicit. And if I were to guess, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, most people will choose, or you just choose the Brewers. I have a buddy who's a Cubs fan now. He's an A's fan. He's just a Cubs fan. He just picked a random team. Or you do that, but a lot of people are going to say, I really like a local team. And they're going to say, you know what, the Giants were complicit, but Fisher had them we had no choice anyway, and they're going to be Giants fans. And with that, I don't know if they'll get to the Yankees level in 10 years, but it's a pretty darn good business model, as messed up as it may seem. Coming up next, we get into the NFC, back to some Niners talk. And is there any NFC team that is going to stop the San Francisco 49ers? And is the NFC really the problem when it comes to the Niners? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Keegan Murray, plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news! Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
About to get into the NFC talk. Get Simone's thoughts on this. But we have some text coming through, and I love it. I love it. This is from the 916, have supported the Giants, but always A's since the 70s. I just don't want them to be embarrassing anymore. I would give up baseball if it's only Giants. That's what I think that's how I think a lot of people would feel, because it's not like baseball is kicking right now, you know, and much to my chagrin, because I think it's really exciting. All the different players, and even the A's. I mean, the A's have some really young pieces with Lawrence Butler, and Brent Rooker is a stud. But basically, so real quick, there is a really good, and I spoke to him a long time ago. I had a baseball podcast, and Foolish Baseball. If you follow baseball, you know who Foolish Baseball is. He does really good YouTube videos, and he just pops on Twitter. And basically, there was a version of the A's stadium or ballpark in a rendering in Vegas, right? And in the rendering, it had the A's lineup, and it had Brent Rooker hitting 300. And Foolish Baseball, he quote tweeted it and said, the craziest thing about this rendering is Brent Rooker hitting 300. This was months ago. Well, a couple days ago, it made the rounds. I think Underdog found it. It made the rounds. Brent Rooker, ladies and gentlemen, is hitting 300. And Foolish Baseball, he owned it. He owned it like a man, but he got dragged. For that take. So, you know, the A's, they are exciting. They're young. They're exciting. You know, Mason Miller, guys like that. So we'll see what'll happen. But as far as the Giants are concerned, yeah, I think they're really just saying, even if we get it out of the, 100% of the A's fans that are in the Bay, that are in Northern California, once the A's leave, if we get 30% of them to become Giants fans, we're making way more money than we were already making, right? And really, they don't even make, all they need is 1%, because they're not getting that money right now. So I guess the idea is less about taking over. You know, the agent was saying, and if you're just now joining us, Susan Slusser article on the Chronicle talking about the Giants taking over, and it was all part of the plan for the Giants to take over Northern California. They don't have to they can take it over even if it's not all of Northern California. All they need is, hey, if we get 1% of the A's fans that we didn't previously have, we're making more than we did. We're not going to lose fans. Well, you need to figure it out with Farhan, but we're not going to lose fans. And if they get up to 30%, that now you're making some real deal money, you know, or money that they've never made before. And the Giants, they do make a lot of money. On the Sack Chat, they're having a conversation about about the situation. Kenneth Williams, I'd be a Sack fan if we got our own team and then get rid of the Giants. And then somebody asked him, the Hamburger Dad asked him, if the A's decided to stay in Sack, would you become an A's fan primarily? He says yes, but he says basically, if it's between the Giants and whoever else, I'll just pick a random team. You know, I think a lot of people are going to feel like that, but I think that all you need is, if you're the Giants, all you need is 30% to come over to the Giants, and you are making a lot of money. Okay, let's get into this NFC conversation. So we've seen basically all three teams get it done, right? We've seen the Eagles. Well, the Rams didn't get it done, but they didn't get it done because they went up against the Lions. So after watching all three, and I'm trying to think if there's anybody that I'm forgetting, right? As far as the NFC, and but let's have that conversation. We putting the Bucs in there. I barely put the Rams in there. I put the Cowboys, I guess, and just nobody counts the Cowboys, but I got duped. You know what? I got duped by the Cowboys last season. I was sitting in this seat, and they had the Packers, and I guess I didn't mention the Packers. Packers out without Jordan Love for 3-6, who's on my fantasy team.
Me too.
So now I got to go to Tua.
Wow.
I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Who do you got to go to?
Commandos.
Jaden?
Yeah.
He did well yesterday.
I know. I think that is the exception and not the rule.
He be running. That guy is a runner and a track star.
Not my design.
No, helmet flying off. I mean, but getting back to the NFC, you're right. So I'm forgetting the Packers. I'll add in the Packers because they were kind of a pick. I'll add in the Cowboys. You want to? I'm not putting the Bucs there yet, Simone. Okay. I don't trust Baker.
Okay.
You know what? To be completely 1,000 with you in the audience, that was one of the games. It was the afternoon game. That was when I was making the tacos. So I didn't really see. I saw the Mike Evans play. Did not see a ton of Baker yesterday. But again,
the 10 a.m. slate was so much better.
No, it was. Yeah. But again, as far as the afternoon slate is concerned, and as far as that game, the Baker thing, that's the same as the Sam Darnold thing to me. Yeah. And the NFC East is just terrible. But, Baker doing his thing, okay, cool. 4 touchdowns is insane. But let's see them cook a little bit. And they have a week, again, they're it's them or the Saints, right? In that division. Let's see Baker cook a little bit before I put them in that conversation. But, as I look at the rest of as I look at this NFC, and we've seen them all play, right? The Eagles, I wasn't impressed.
Dude.
I just don't trust.
Missing Kelsey.
Yeah, when he's just there on his couch, he's making a lot of money on his couch.
Yeah.
$100 million for that podcast. But I don't trust the Eagles. Sirianni, he just looks, you talk about what is it that Sirianni, I still don't know what he does. Now they have a Vic Fangio, they have Kellen Moore. I don't know what Nick Sirianni does besides argue with Jalen Hurts. So and Draper, I'll tell Draper one day when he finally does crosstalk, I will tell Draper that to his face. I don't really trust Jalen Hurts like that. The Rams, like I said, they can't stay healthy. They just can't stay healthy. The Lions, sure, maybe, but
formidable.
I just don't really trust Jared Goff. Jared Goff is Kirk Cousins to me. You trust him until you don't. Packers, we'll see what happens when Jordan Love gets back. And Packers, Malik Willis as their backup. A lot of people are saying, should the Niners trade Dobbs to not for Malik Willis, but to the Packers, for the Packers to figure it out. Oh no, you don't want to make another NFC team good. Can I just say this Josh Dobbs thing? People need to cool out a little bit. And I'm not even big on Brandon Allen, but people are thinking that Josh Dobbs going to the Packers is. I think that they'd be okay. If I'm the Niners,
giving him a weapon.
Yeah, I would take those picks if I'm the Niners. That's what I would do. Cowboys, I got duped by you last year, Cowboys. I had egg on my face. In theory, sure. I also don't trust the fact that, it's CD and a bunch of whatever's left. Brandon Cooks, he gets me so mad because every time I see him for a touchdown prop, I just think, smaller guy. He scores a touchdown almost every game. Every single game. He doesn't do anything else. He'll have like 7 yards and a touchdown. But I don't really, and the 7 yards was from the touchdown pass. I don't trust the Cowboys, and Simone's trying to throw the Bucks in there. Look, they're honorable mention. So we can do a NFC kind of power ranking, and they would be honorable mention to me. But long story short, I don't think the Niners have much to worry about unless we see the Niners just look weird or abysmal.
From Seattle's the only okay.
No.
I'll shut it down.
No, shut it. Just like John Taffer says.
Trying to be creative on a Monday.
We'll keep going through it when we get back. And then, as we know, we have a very big college football listening base, fan base on this show. So we will get into Notre Dame, who paid to lose. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Advanced Infusion Center, where wellness meets vitality. Unlock your full potential with our customized Liquid Vita vitamin IV drips tailored to fit your unique lifestyle. Whether you're an athlete aiming for peak performance or travel often and looking to stay healthy, we have an IV just for you. At Advanced Infusion Center, we understand that wellness isn't just one size fits all. That's why our expert team is here to personalize your infusion experience. Ready to elevate your wellness journey? Call Advanced Infusion Center today or visit us at advancedinfusion.com.
The TaylorMade Tour Van is a one-stop shop for PGA Tour players to get their clubs to exact specifications. And now you can get the same experience at Hagen Oaks when the TaylorMade Tour Van brings their fitting skills to you. On September 20th and 21st, you can be fitted at Hagen Oaks and have your clubs built by the TaylorMade Tour Van. A $25 fitting fee is refundable with any club purchase. Whether you're interested in the QI-10 or P770, call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 to reserve your spot.
Sacramento Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. They believe it's all about people and choices. Their goal is to find the car that fits your lifestyle. With their huge inventory of models, they've got the right car and, more importantly, at the right price every time. Experience for yourself why their customers drive away smiling. Discover the difference, because it's not just about the car, it's also about the people. Experience the Sacramento Dodge Jeep and Chrysler difference off Business 80 next to Hagen Oaks, or you can find them online, sacsuperstore.com.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacramento, Dierks Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Carmelie.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha.
Did your boobs stop working?
And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
The TaylorMade Tour Van is a one-stop shop for PGA Tour players to get their clubs to exact specifications. And now you can get the same experience at Hagen Oaks when the TaylorMade Tour Van brings their fitting skills to you. On September 20th and 21st, you can be fitted at Hagen Oaks and have your clubs built by the TaylorMade Tour Van. A $25 fitting fee is refundable with any club purchase. Whether you're interested in the QI-10 or P770, call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 to reserve your spot.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Get ready for an epic fiesta on Tuesday, September 17th, when the Sacramento River Cats become Los Dorados de Sacramento for a night of Hispanic heritage fun. Grab your amigos, bring the familia, and enjoy some baseball with us. Visit rivercats.com to purchase tickets. Vamos, River Cats!
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Real quick, I know some people probably seeing that DeMar DeRozan was on Podcast P. I am aware. I think it dropped this morning. And you know I'm not going to do that without Chris. Football Monday, plenty to get into. So you're going to want to tune back in every day, but specifically tomorrow, as Chris and I will give a breakdown of everything that DeMar DeRozan had to say on the Podcast P. But yeah, come on now. I wouldn't do that without my guy, Chris. But I did see it, and we will get into all of that tomorrow as we have some sound from Adam Schefter that we want to break down. Somebody said on the SAC chat when we were talking about NFC teams not to sleep on, somebody said, I think it was Kenneth Williams said, don't sleep on the Saints. Again, let me look at the Saints schedule. They beat it's the Panthers, right? Next up, who do they have? Look, this is perfect. This is actually incredible. Okay, the Saints, they'll have their opportunities. The Saints go to Dallas, okay? They go to Dallas next Sunday. I will wake up, I will set my alarm clock on the Saints, and I will stop sleeping on the Saints if they go. They don't even have to win. But if they go to Jerry World and it's a good game, and Derek Carr's out here cooking, and Kamara, my guy who can pull a bus and a truck is out here cooking, and Chris Olave, then we'll have a conversation. And then we'll have a conversation about whether the Saints, speaking of sleeping, the Saints go to Dallas and then host the Eagles, then go to Atlanta, and then go to Kansas City, and then host the Bucks. Yeah, they're cooked. It gets softer on the back end. I mean, I guess they host the Broncos, they go to the Chargers, they host the Panthers, they host the Falcons. That's a tough. I guess, yeah, towards the end they get the Giants and the Commanders. They still get the Packers again. They get the Raiders. But yeah, that's a tough stretch for the Saints. So we'll see what they do in Dallas. But we'll see. They could definitely look. That means there's opportunity for the Saints and one Derek Carr. A lot of love for Derek Carr today. This is what happens when you get to play a bad team. You get love. And Bryce Young, Panthers, man. There's just some teams in some bad situations. 209 says the Packers should sign Tannehill. Yeah, he ain't doing nothing. He's just chilling, right? Is he even a backup? Tannehill. He's a free agent. See, is it a money thing? Because that makes no sense to me. He's 36 years old. Why wouldn't he just be a backup somewhere right now? I wonder why he's not a backup somewhere. Maybe he didn't want to be a backup. Doesn't make any sense to me. Top free agent available, waiting for right opportunity to sign. That's from the NFL.com. But yeah, I mean, if you're the Packers, I don't really know what you're waiting for. You can't roll out there with one Malik Willis. And I thought Malik Willis, he's got an arm, but yeah, I hate when people say that anyway. He's got an arm. Yeah, well, he's in the NFL. All right. What are we talking about here? Obviously, if you just he could basketball. He's tall. He could jump. Yeah. I saw 10 guys yesterday at the Y that could tall and they could jump. Come on now. All right, let's get to this Adam Schefter sound, his hit that he does on Pat McAfee. I don't know if it's weekly or he's on there a couple times. It is Adam Schefter. He talks about Ayuk, but he also talks about the Niners' current situation and McCaffrey and all the guys.
Holding out. Brandon Ayuk, full go here? Full go?
Yeah, a few things that are really interesting here, okay? Last week was the first time that Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, and Trent Williams were all on the same practice field all at once. And even then, they were not full go because then they had to hold back on McCaffrey. Now, last week, Kyle Shanahan mentioned McCaffrey's Achilles. And it was the first time I think reporters had heard the word Achilles because they were talking about the calf. But it's been an Achilles and a calf that's bothered him since week 17 in Washington last year. So this is something that's kind of gone on and on. And the Brandon Ayuk, he looked good at training camp this week. He's going to play tonight. They're going to have him out there. It may not be the regular workload, but he looked good and strong in practice last week. And obviously there was a whole host of things that went on with him during the course of the summer. Everybody knows the history, the talks they had with the Steelers, the talks they had with Brandon Ayuk.
Close? 11th hour, I heard.
Yeah.
Jay Glaze said 11th hour. He was a Pittsburgh Steeler. Is this close?
Well, here's another one. Do you know that Brandon Ayuk got the 5-day letter in the middle of August that he had to practice where he wouldn't be able to play this year?
No, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
he did.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
he
what's
did.
that? What's that mean? I don't think I know what you're talking about. Never
heard of that.
You get a 5-day letter. It means you better get back to practice, or the team has the right to place you on the list, and you lose the year. That happened too.
Damn. Jeez. All right, so there's a little push come shove there.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Again, a 5-day letter. And really, it seems like, I hate to tease prop talk here too much, but I wouldn't take the bait. I think Brandon Ayuk is going off tonight. I do. I think it's so obvious. Oh, he's going to be limited. He's going to be this, he's going to be that. I think it's I think he at least scores a touchdown. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe I would stay away from yards with Ayuk, but I would take a touchdown. And I can hear the broadcast now. He just signed. They didn't know if he was still going to be in the red and gold, but Ayuk scores it. I'm telling you. I am telling you. I would do it. But not to tease prop talk too much. But there you have it. You have Ayuk and the guys getting together. I also read that Brock Purdy had a workout together before, like a week before Ayuk signed. So, sometimes it's just you got to stand on business and you feel like you're standing on your principle. And that's what Ayuk wanted to do. I know people have said it's win-win or the Niners lost or whatever. I do think Ayuk won more than the Niners won. But at the end of the day, the Niners didn't break as much as they wanted to or more than they wanted to. And Ayuk got what he wanted and what he deserves based on the market. So all is well that ends well. I'm telling you today, there definitely will be. He's definitely going to catch some passes, and I think one is going to be in the end zone. I guess if you're Sauce Gardner, I guess you're on Ayuk. I would say. I don't think, no disrespect, but I don't think his talents are necessary on Debo. I don't know, and I don't even know if that's a great matchup because if Debo gets the ball, he's definitely trucking Sauce Gardner. So I really think that. I mean, he'll have to go if Ayuk really is going to be limited, he'll have to guard Debo. I think that's a better matchup, honestly. If I'm the Niners, I would like that matchup because Debo is just so physical. But I think Sauce is going to, Ayuk is the number one. But I don't think and now I'm torn. And like I said, prop talk. But now I'm torn because, I think I think the obvious pick is for Debo to go off. And that's why you either take it and you think, duh. Obviously, and then it doesn't hit, or then you don't take it because it's too obvious, and then it hits. But I think the Niners are going to rock and roll. We'll do our official predictions later in the show to end the show, but I think that the Niners will not have an issue at all with the Jets. And, you got no Hassan Reddick, okay, and you have the Jets who there have been conversations. Chris read an article last week about the Jets having a little bit more drama. You want to stay tuned for top stories at the top of the hour because there is Aaron Rodgers news. And I'm curious if you will be interested on what Aaron Rodgers has coming out. But coming up next, we have some fun with the college football weekend. Before we get into top stories at the top of the hour, Notre Dame essentially paid to lose. Talk about hustling backwards. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's majestic golden eagles and other less majestic birds taunting you through the baseball-sized hole in your new windows. It's soaring guitar solos performed through faulty wiring in your garage, which subsequently erupts into flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
A new Honda? Nice. Well, it was like this. It was a super hot day, so we all stopped for some ice cream. When bam, the AC went out. My dad started sweating and was all, man, I stink. And my brother was like, I hate this car. And my mom was all, I'm dying in here. Then I said, it's time to call Stockton Honda. Then Dad was like, honey, you're right. I knew you were my favorite. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue. StocktonHonda.com.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered FlexSteel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Premier Pools and Spas was founded in Sacramento and has been an institution in the area since 1988. It was the place we called when we were looking to add a pool, and you should too. Their commitment to the job showed with their pride, their effort, and the integrity that started with the initial consultation all the way through the completion of the project. And as a satisfied Premier Pools and Spas customer, I'm encouraging you to enjoy the benefits of their endless summer sale going on now through September 21st. Take advantage of the last sale of the season and enjoy thousands in savings for a new pool and pool remodeling projects. So if you're looking to build your dream pool or breathe new life into your existing one, check out Premier Pools and Spas' endless summer sale and find out why they're the region's leading pool builder and have proudly been serving Sacramento since 1988. That's Premier Pools and Spas. Contract number 589234.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, we have the top stories at the top of the hour, and then we will get into why I am worried about Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl. But first, had to let that drop. But first, let's have some fun. As we know, we have a strong group of college football fans that listen to the show. We're going to open up the phone lines for all you football fans. And look, we just want to have some fun with this. And we'll probably do this every week since we know that you're out there. Just call in. If your team won, call in. Just vibe out. Have a good time. Cal Bears. Shout out Cal going to Auburn. And Auburn, I saw they were talking so much trash. Cal holding it down for the ACC. Shout out to all of the former Pac-12. Pac-12, they showed out. They really showed out. And it just reminds you of what was so good about the Pac-12, the Tournament of Champions. And it's upsetting that things couldn't work out, and we'll move on, and it is what it is. But all of the former Pac-12 alum showing out, of course, with the Cal Bears taking down the Auburn Tigers. I mean, and even after, right? And shout out to Cal fans. I mean, I think a lot of people say, oh, there's nothing like SEC football. And even myself, I've said I definitely want to go to a Big Ten, maybe not, I don't know about Texas. Yeah, Big Ten, Big 12, SEC, one of those tailgates before it's all said and done. And people don't consider Pac-12 the same way, but I think they said it was 5,000 people, something like that. Cal fans mobbing to Alabama to put the hurting on an Auburn team. So shout out to them. And it was a wacky Saturday. And we'll start with some of the smaller ones. Brock Purdy and George Kittle, they had a little bet going on between Iowa State and Iowa. Iowa was ranked 21. Iowa State was not ranked, but Iowa State got the W. Also, number 20, Kansas loses to Illinois, who wasn't ranked, 23-17. But the biggest upset of the day came when number 5 Notre Dame lost to little old Northern Illinois. And it was just incredible. We have the sound from Thomas Hammock. Here is a little note, and everybody always wonders, hey, why do these teams have these games, right? You got to fill your schedule. You don't want to burn yourself, even with the extended college football playoff. You don't want to burn yourself. So you find some teams that, hey, it's a cool experience. I mean, I'd be lying. We got to play, when I was playing back in the day, and I don't think they paid us, but we got to play at Virginia Tech, when I was at Temple, and it was really cool. You know what I mean? And actually, for you A's fans out there, Chad Pinder was the third baseman who played for the A's for a couple years, and, he was a monster. But, all D1s are not created equal. That's just the reality of the situation. We see the same thing in football and basketball and even in baseball. And on top of that, hey, we know you probably don't want to get smacked in front of a national audience, right? But because of that, we'll pay you to come up. You can use that money for wherever you choose. We got so much money at our school. We're going to pay you to beat the brakes off you. And that's exactly what Notre Dame thought they were signing up for. They paid Northern Illinois $1.4 million to play in South Bend. And the Huskies beat the number 5 Fighting Irish 16-14, the biggest upset in NIU history. Now, this happens from time to time. I think they said the last time NIU beat even a team in the top 25, it was number 13, and it was a while ago. It happens from time to time, but Notre Dame, who has that, they have the special on Peacock, right, leading up to the season. The head coach is one of the best looking dudes I ever seen. He's got TikToks of getting his haircut, and you go out there and you lose to Northern Illinois. Not that it matters, but also at home. That's insane to me. That's insane to lose at home. They're done. I think they're done. What's probably going to happen is they'll run the table now, and they'll have a really bad blemish. Obviously, you have the expanded playoff. I don't know. It's really going to matter if any other teams have bad losses, but once conference starts, there's not going to be any losses that are as bad as that. But I want to focus on Thomas Hammock, who had this to say on the school's first win in the history of Northern Illinois against a top 5 opponent.
I'm so proud of our kids, the coaches, just everybody. They believed. They believed. And we came here and got it done.
You told your guys this week that you didn't need anyone to be a superhero or superhuman. They just needed to be their best. What kind of performances did you see out there?
They listened to what I said. I told them all week, we don't need luck. We just got to be our best. And they was their best today. And we was able to get it done.
Where's this emotion coming from for you?
You know, all these guys that have been with our program, been through the ups and downs, and they continue to fight. You know, it's like they my kids. I'm happy for the adversity to push through. You know, no matter the situation, I just couldn't be more proud. I'm sorry.
No need to be sorry. Boneyard wins is what you call it when you all beat a top 5 opponent, a power 5 opponent. There was 70,000 people in here that probably didn't believe. Why did you all believe?
We got a veteran team, a bunch of guys that have been through a lot of different things, and they work together. Like we still are in college football. I know it's a whole bunch of other things with the transfer portal and NIL. We still have a family, and they believe in that family and doing things the right way. And I couldn't be more proud of them.
Someone cutting onions? Someone cutting onions in here? That was incredible. That was just incredible. Congrats to Northern Illinois. And look, those are the type of wins that can change your career, right? And obviously Thomas Hammock is not, you know, waking up today thinking I can't wait to leave. But, you know, you go on a run, right? And I have no clue where Northern Illinois was slotted to finish in their conference, and conferences are all messed up at this point. But you beat a top 5 team, and then you go on a run. That can change the trajectory of your career. And they said earlier in the interview that he played for Northern Illinois. So obviously that was even more special, right? To do what they did and to just kind of build it from the gutter, build it from the mud. So shout out to them for getting that done. And Notre Dame, I mean, you lost up 100 point. You lost 1.4 million. That reminds me, Chris had that story on the top stories at the top of the hour when that one guy bet on Alcaraz and he bet $25,000 to win $250. That's what, and then he lost the $25,000. That's what that reminded me of. So shout out to Northern Illinois and all these small schools, man. I mean, look, it's tough to have a sense of pride and to know. I think the cool part is you get to see the stadiums, the historic stadiums. You get to do that. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're calling on you because they think you're getting rolled over, right? We're going to steamroll you, and you are going to be just another win on our schedule. Not even a good win, right? But we're going to pay you. We have to do this because we can't face, you know, ridiculous teams every single week, right? So we're going to pay you. You're going to get your butt whooped, and then you're going to go home and tell people you got to play the big bad Notre Dame. And Thomas Hammock said, yeah, we'll take the money, but we'll also take your soul, and we'll also take your season, and we'll also take that pride that you have. So, and look, it feels like and time moves so quickly, Simone, that you feel like the head coach of Notre Dame just got hired, Marcus Freeman. But he probably, I'm trying to look now how long he's been there. That seat might be getting warm. I'm checking here. Yeah, so it was 2020. It was 2021 he got made head coach. So we're
and
going
if you
on.
asked me, I would have been like, it's his sophomore year.
Yeah,
it's
so
feeling like that.
So we're on what, year 3 or year 3, closer to year 4, and they really haven't done too much. So I think it's going to be tough sledding for Notre Dame. I mean, for it to happen this early, maybe there's a chance that they can climb back, but this story isn't about Notre Dame because do they even deserve it? You lose to Northern Illinois, no disrespect to them, at home, $1.4 million, number 5 team in the nation, coming off that Texas A&M win. Come on now, from the 916, let's go Texas. Snubbed last year, easily winning the Natty this year. Well, I don't know if they were snubbed because they lost, right? They were in the college football playoffs. So maybe you mean that they should have made it to the national championship. I think they look good, Quinn Ewers. And then after that, you get Arch Manning. Can't wait for Arch Manning. Coming up next, can't wait for the top stories at the top of the hour. The Kings G League coach has been named. We also get into everyone's favorite, Aaron Rodgers. And yeah, you guessed it, more content. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Good morning, Doctor. Doctor? Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You did it, Boston. The Celtics are NBA champions. It's time to come together and celebrate in style. Go to NBAstore.com right now to get all your championship gear. The official locker room collection with t-shirts for the whole crew. The official locker room hat and everything you need to celebrate the Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy. Celtics fans, it's your time, so get your gear. NBAstore.com, a Fanatics experience.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting their focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
The 90th annual Marysville Stampede is coming to Marysville's Cotton Rosser Arena this Saturday and Sunday. It's a whole weekend of the best Fest. Pro rodeo action for the whole family. Bareback, saddle bronc, and bull riding. Plus the BMX motorcycle show. It's just $25 for adults and $15 for kids 4 to 12. The 90th annual Marysville Stampede. Saturday at 5 p.m. and Sunday at 3:30 p.m. at the Cotton Ross Arena in Marysville. Get your tickets at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's the home opener for Sacramento State Hornets this Saturday, 6 p.m. kickoff versus Nichols. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Oh, yeah. Hour 4. Taking you up to 2 p.m. Stiles Watkins. Chris out today. He will be back. But we got you for now. One more hour. It's been a fun show, Simone. You know, I want to take the time to thank you because 1 o'clock hour comes around and things just fly. You get crosstalk and prop talk and talk. And I want to thank you again for doing your thing. Had a lot of audio to play today, a lot of moving parts, so I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, big dog. What a blessed Monday.
It is.
Just to be here chatting with you.
Yeah, I was looking down at the Sack chat saying Ward talking about Alan bringing stinky lunches. It was one time. And you know what? Yeah, I had leftover taco stuff and Chris not even here. I just said, I'm just going to eat this at home.
Oh, because they shame you?
So one time, I don't even really know what happened.
Okay.
But it was a chicken Caesar salad, not even anything egregious. Okay. One time before that, I had broccoli. Mm-hmm. And the broccoli, you heat up broccoli. Yeah, I didn't really realize that was going to happen. So that one I wore. Okay. The other one was a pre-made salad, which I had a couple bites and something was off. I don't know if it was the chicken or the dressing. And you know how Nate just overdoes everything. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. When he doesn't even sit in here, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And then they always do the thing with meat. Simone, go in there and smell it. Make sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even have anything to do with you guys today. Leave me alone.
Go smell it. Like, who does that? Who says that? So, yeah, that's.
So you didn't bring your taco?
No, I'm just gonna eat it at home. I eat in the. I brought yogurt.
No, you eat in the car.
No,
this is really getting a sad segment.
You know where the microwave is in that main room over there, the office
where all the desks are.
Yes,
over there.
Yes, in the common area. Yes. I run during breaks. I'll run over there. I'll heat up my food, and I'll come back and do a segment. Then I'll run during the next break, and I'll eat it over there.
You're always welcome to eat it.
No.
Yeah, you can always eat it over there, and it'll be without judgment. My desk usually open if I'm not working in here, so you always have a seat at my table.
Well, I appreciate that. All right, let's get into the top stories at the top of the hour. We got some Kings related news here. to start this off. This was from Shams. The Sacramento Kings are hiring Quentin Crawford as head coach of the franchise's NBA G League Stockton Kings, sources tell The Athletic. Crawford, only 33, spent the last 7 seasons as an NBA assistant, including the 2023-2024 season in Phoenix. He was part of the 2020 Lakers championship staff. I really wish that we had, and I don't even know who we would talk to, but just get a thought process on how it just feels so random, right? To pick, and we talked about this before, to pick, okay, who wants to stay in the NBA? And then you go to the G League. Is it better to be on the, the second bench or the second bench of an NBA staff than to be a G League head coach, and how all of that works? So all of that is very fascinating to me. But shout out to Quentin Crawford. Great name, by the way. Quentin Crawford, who will be the next head coach of the Stockton Kings. We have more Kings news, and these are some promotions. The Kings announced, and this is straight up from the Kings, they released a statement. Jay Triano has been promoted to associate head coach. Jawad Williams has been elevated to assistant coach, director of player development, and Charles Allen has been promoted to player development coach. Depeche Mistry will now serve as head video coordinator and player development coach. Sam Logwood has been named assistant video coordinator. Additionally, Shandon Goldman has been promoted to video assistant. The Kings also announced that Ricardo Foy and Jim Moran have been named assistant coaches. So shout out to all the promotions. That's a lot of promotions. Simone, I don't know, in the tech world, it was always fun because you would do an all hands meeting. And then right there, you sit there and you got the PowerPoint or the Google slides going, and they would just name off all the promotions. And it's funny how things change in a company. So the company I was at first, when I first joined, they would have the boss, the manager, come up, and they would literally talk about you by name, like you were receiving an award. They would say, this person has worked her tail off since she's been here. She was very instrumental in launching blah, 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 blah. And then they will say, Simone Brickford being promoted, right? And that's year 1. I was there for 7 years. By year 7, they just put the names up on the PowerPoint. We don't have time for this. Yeah. Here are December promotions, our Q2 promotions. And I'm squinting. I'm like, my name up there?
There I am.
Yeah, no, I was not.
Oh.
I'm looking. Where's my name at? So there you go. Shout out to all the promotions, and shout out to anybody who's got a promotion recently. It always feels good, actually. Next on the list, and Simone, this is just a note, right? And I don't know if you've seen all of this. The Dylan Raiola clone with Mahomes situation.
Goodness.
So what's even funnier than that? He wears 15. He's got the hair. His dad, I think, was a center for the Lions for years, or he played on one of the D line or offensive line for years. What was interesting about that is that he actually, I think he decommitted from Georgia. And I have a theory, Simone, you might call me crazy. He either decommitted from Georgia or he was stuck between Georgia and Nebraska. It's obvious why he picked Nebraska, right?
Why?
The colors.
The colors.
He wanted to look just like Mahomes in Nebraska. He wanted to be red. And we've talked about this on the show before. You can look me up back in the day, 08, perfect game. They said, reminds shades of Kenny Lofton. Okay. And I had a coach. He said, if you want to get drafted, you need to remind the scouts of someone. And I did not. Right. I never sat there and watched Kenny Lofton as much as I should have, but they said ball hawk and reminds me of Kenny Lofton. And I say that because I think this kid, he's only 19, he's a freshman. He ain't dumb. It's gonna work. I don't know how far it'll take him. You gotta produce. He obviously beat Shador and the Colorado situation, okay? And he threw for 100 and the Buffs. I'm sorry, somebody from Colorado was saying it's the Buffs. He threw for 185 yards and a touchdown. I just call them the Colorado Primes. That's what I call them. But he threw for 185 yards and a touchdown. He looked good. He had a couple Mahomes looking throws, and and he's running around, and he's got the hair flopping. He's even trying. I don't know if you saw this, Simone, but he's even trying to walk. I mean, he is. He's trying to walk like him. It's kind of insane.
I see
the headband,
the glasses,
and Simone, and he's already acknowledged him. Mahomes did, and he said, "That's my little cousin." So it's genius. I'm gonna say it. If I looked, and that's what I was saying. You know what? I know Trae Young ended up all right, but Trae Young, he didn't really need to do anything because everybody already thought he was kind of similar to Steph. He should have cut that hair, okay, because he was getting clowned for the hair. He should have looked just like Steph Curry. Should have tried to pull that off. And he still got drafted. But these guys out here, I'm telling you, Dylan Raiola is on to something. I have been told that from literal Major League Baseball players. Okay, the scouts, they want you to remind them of something.
Yes, and emulate it. Just copy and paste.
I'm not saying to go this crazy, because this might be a little much, but I think it's going to work.
I think it's going to work too. Wait, I don't understand your qualm with it. You're saying that he's leaning
it's a
into
lot.
it too much?
It's a lot.
I disagree.
Simone, it's a lot.
Let him get his bag.
Yeah.
And if this helps him deceive everyone, then get it.
You know what's going to happen. They're going to be in a commercial together. Just wait.
Allstate.
With Jake. And now Chris will hate that if Jake's in it.
A good name.
Oh, stop it. Okay, next, we have two more. Next, Aaron Rodgers is next on the documentary list. Aaron Rodgers. It's called Aaron Rodgers Enigma. It is coming out on Netflix. It kind of highlights his comeback from the Achilles. Are you interested in that, Simone?
No. No, I know that content-wise, for the jobs that we do, it's going to be great, and there's going to be a lot to pull and dissect.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think it's going to be a dynamic watch for me.
You talk about insufferable.
Yes.
I mean, he's going to try to just talk and talk. Oh my goodness. I don't know how much I'm going to get through. It can't be more than 5 episodes. I can't do that. I don't even know if I could do 3. I don't even know if I could do 3. All right. Last but not least on the list, top stories at the top of the hour. Look, I've been hard on the Raiders today, but I am not Carmichael Dave. If you only listen during crosstalk, you might not get my sense of humor or my sense of fandom, okay? I am a Raider fan, okay? I'm just sad. But with that being said, I did have a cool note, a funny note, and it is, Simone, the Chargers posted, did you see this?
Yes.
The Chargers, they posted a video of the Chargers players waving goodbye to the fans after their win against the Raiders. The only problem is it was a home game for the Chargers. I don't know how they fixed this. I don't know. I know why they left San Diego, but they never should have left San Diego. I know it's specifically bad with the Raiders because the Raiders were in LA, but that's embarrassing. Waving goodbye to fans as if you're at an away game when you were at home. And the Chargers having absolutely no feel from the social media to post it is ridiculous.
Right.
Have a feel. One time. Embarrassing. I do wonder, and that's what we talk about, these secondary teams like the Clippers and the problem with the Rams. I mean, the football in LA, I don't know. I mean, they make a lot of money, but the Rams, their stadium gets overrun all the time, specifically by Niner fans. They get overrun all the time. The Chargers get overrun all the time. It's a mess out there in LA. And the Rams won a Super Bowl. And it doesn't matter. And if the Chargers, if Jim can pull this off and actually take LA, that might be his biggest accomplishment yet. Coming up next, oh yeah, it's time. Prop top and predictions. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right out of the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown!
CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Hello? Hey, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. Did you know we've got you fully covered?
I've taken up beekeeping. I'm always covered.
I'm talking the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage at up to half the cost.
Same honey? Half the work?
Exactly.
Sweet.
Just call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Ulta Beauty's 21 Days of Beauty event is back. From now until September 19th, score over 200 daily beauty steals at 50% off in every category. And check Ulta.com daily to get them all before they're gone. Take 50% off bestsellers from brands like Estee Lauder and Supergoop. Plus, say hello to new finds from brands like Dyson and Sol de Janeiro. And Ilia is now at Ulta Beauty in select stores and online. Shop in-store at Ulta.com or try pickup today. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful. Conditions apply while supplies last.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
You know, just as I was praising Simone, she helps even more. I was so excited all day to talk about this segment, and I skipped right on. I just read right below it and went straight to prop talks and predictions that I skipped over what I was so excited to talk about all day, which was the announcement of Kendrick Lamar, big as the Super Bowl. So Kendrick Lamar will be the first hip-hop artist to headline the Super Bowl by himself. Obviously, you had Dr. Dre and the crew, but that was, you know, a whole group of the West Coasters and things like that. And obviously, Jay-Z has had a huge role in all of this. And Simone, thank you. Oh, my goodness.
It's only right.
Steph Curry is going to be very sad about this. And I got some thoughts on it. I saw it and I thought, man, this is going to be very, very interesting. I am scrolling down now to where, off the top of your head, Simone, Jay-Z probably, what did he take over? Did he take over the was it 2021 where he took over, or he got really involved in? Okay, here you go. I think it starts here, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he's only done 2 so far, right? And this is basically the sponsor. They call him the sponsor. And I might be wrong, but it looks like 2020. Yeah, it started in, there you go, 2020. It was Jay-Z, okay? And that was Shakira, J-Lo. 2021 was The Weeknd. Then 2022 was when you had Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Kendrick also popped up there, and 50 Cent. 2023 was Rihanna. And 2024 was Usher. Prior to that, you had 2019 was Maroon 5. 2018 was Justin Timberlake. I'm trying to look. What year was... I skipped over Bruno Mars.
Oh, that's Coldplay, Bruno Mars, and Beyonce.
There you go. And look, this always gets a bit awkward for me because music is so subjective, right? And there are people that probably only heard 2 or 3 Kendrick songs. We joke with Nate on this show about there being 2 Americas, and I'm gonna sound super corny here, but with Jay-Z kind of taking over, I do feel like there are a lot of country boys in the NFL, and I feel like I'm starting to wonder, when are these guys gonna get something? Whether, I'm not saying it has to be country, but pop or I mean, Usher was pop, but it just feels like if I am a non-hip hop fan, I'm kind of turned off from the Super Bowl performances. Kendrick, to me, and he's having a great year, I just think Kendrick is a little bit too niche for the Super Bowl, especially
Not the niche and Super Bowl.
I'm
in this
sorry.
station again. I'm getting flashbacks to Dave with Kyle Ledbetter talking
gosh.
about Usher and
No,
they asked-
see,
yeah.
See, to me, Usher had so many hits. That did not feel niche to me. I mean, Usher was around for so long, right? Kendrick, and on top of that, I am very big on performing, right? Dancing, performing, rapping doesn't give that. So I'm really surprised at this. Will I personally enjoy it? Yeah. But I think from a Super Bowl standpoint, you want to see, performing. You're playing instruments, you're dancing, you're doing other things. I just don't think it's going to be received very well. I'm going to be honest with you.
You just want it. Wheezy.
I don't think that would have been received well either. But at least, I don't even know. If you're going to go rap, I just don't know why you're going one person. Just open it up. You know what I mean? And get Nelly, because at least Nelly, he's done songs with some country artists. Mm-hmm. I just think that you're only speaking to one part of your audience nowadays. That's what it feels like. Usher, I guess, was more open, right? Because I think a lot of people know Usher songs maybe more than they even realized. So I think Usher was fine. But it feels like it's just kind of it's just been a lot of the hip hop, and I'm fine with it, but I just feel like it's going to turn to people. Rihanna was fine. That's when she announced her pregnancy. It was fine. Before that, everybody like the Dr. Dre thing everybody liked that one. The Weeknd doesn't say, I didn't really like The Weeknd's pop, but he doesn't really perform, right? I need performers. Look at this list. You had Maroon 5. I would say they're performers. Shakira, they're performers. Then you go The Weeknd. We give Dr. Dre and Snoop a pass. That's fine. Rihanna, she kind of performed. Usher, yes, performed. And then you have Kendrick, Kendrick is going to rap. So I'm just a big fan of performing, Simone. It's a Super Bowl performance. You're just going to watch him rap?
No, I mean, I think the thing that we love, or at least maybe I'll just speak for myself about K-Dot, is that he's so artistic with it. It's going to be a treat for the eyes. Whatever it's going to be is going to be the music, but also visually, it's going to be stunning.
I don't know what that means.
Think about his music videos.
Okay, but again, that's just super niche to me. That's going to go over so many people. It's just not the time for it, in my opinion.
I feel like so they're paying the artist. Apple Music is paying the artist to come by, do this set. Mm-hmm. They're not really pressed about, I don't think that they're trying to capture new audiences. I think that they're just trying to put out a dope product that's going to be, translate on social media later.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if I'm Apple Music, I'm trying to find the biggest artists that have the biggest reach. And I don't think Kendrick has the biggest reach. I don't. If we're having conversations about Usher being niche, then what are we talking about with Kendrick? You have friends that know less than 3 to 5 Kendrick songs. I just feel like you have to represent everybody. And I think they have not been representing everybody. And I think there's an easy way to do that. I'm not putting it on. I'm not saying don't have Kendrick. I'm saying move away from, and maybe this is participation trophy, but I'm just saying move away from just one headliner. Yeah. That's what I would say. I mean, genres are getting thrown out the window. Right. Somebody, as much as he annoys me because, he popped into rap and popped out, somebody did have a good point. I mean, Post Malone would make a lot of sense. I mean, he would cover.
So good. Thank you for texting.
He would cover everything. If he's allowed to still do his rap music, he would cover a lot. He would cover all the genres.
Of America.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Have Post Malone, early Post Malone with the rappers that he's done songs with. They come in, and then you have the country artists that he's done songs with. It's a good point. I don't know. I am excited for Kendrick, but I'm already hearing you're at the Super Bowl party and you have that I don't really know. I don't really know that much about Kendrick. You know what I mean? I just don't know. I just think it's just too niche. He's having a great year. Is he going to play Not Like Us 15 times again? That's probably going to be a prop.
No.
Think about it. By the time Super Bowl comes around, I mean, that'll be 2025. Not Like Us came out, March or something like that?
I sound like, Kyle Draper again. I will admit that this has invigorated his career. Not to say that he ever fell off or anything, but this song, is changing the landscape and the tapestry of what this kid was doing before this beef happened.
Right.
And I don't know how many times they're going to play that song. I hope it's only one.
No, yeah. Roby is saying, come on, Styles, best rapper of our generation and is on a hot streak. Have you guys not seen him live? I have seen him live. Live. And again, it's rap. It's live rap.
I just always think about the music video awards and all of his music videos that are so dynamic.
But think about that.
It's going to look great on TV.
But think about that too. Now we have to deal with, and I don't know what the rules are going to be. Now we start digging into, I'm thinking about the BET Awards one, and I know you saw that one. We're going to go down there were issues with Beyonce, right? And Beyonce really didn't even do too much. Kendrick, are they going to let Kendrick? Because if Kendrick goes full Kendrick, it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be full Kendrick.
Okay. I'm not having any conversations about it.
And then Spotify will take over. There will be no more Apple Music.
No, like I told you, when they let me, when my baseball team let me do the pregame, and I had too much, my Spotify let me down, and too much of my rap played at one time in a row, and they shut down my playlist. I couldn't do it anymore. That's what's gonna happen. I'm just hopefully it works out. I'm already, you know what it is? I'm already exhausted from the future conversations that will be had about Kendrick's performance. That's what it is. I'm already exhausted. Whether it's about them not really knowing them, whether it's about if he goes full Kendrick, I'm already exhausted.
Yeah, you have a little bit of fatigue on set.
Already.
Brimming up. Okay.
Already. All right. Coming up next, I don't have fatigue when it comes to prop talk and predictions. Simone and I get into that. So get your wallets out. Let's make some cheddar. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Nothing like us.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
When is the best time to buy a new air conditioning system? Right now with Bell Brothers end of summer clear-out sale. You'll get up to $2,700 off a top-of-the-line AC system. Plus, no payments or interest for 1 year for qualified buyers. Call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or go online to thenosurpriseguys.com because we only have a limited number of new top-of-the-line AC systems. And when they're gone, this offer is over. Need more info? Call us. Estimates and second opinions are always free. So call now for up to $2,700 off a new premium AC system. And no payments or interest for 1 year. Plus, if you call now, we'll throw in your choice of a free smart thermostat or indoor air purification system. But you have to call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com. Remember, end of summer is the best time to buy and save on a new AC system. Thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Experience a golf tournament as refined as you are. The Pro Court Championship at Silverado Resort, September 12th through the 15th. Be there as the best of Napa meets the best of the PGA Tour. With world-class wine experiences, breathtaking views, and incredible golf. It's like this weekend was made for you. The Pro Court Championship, September 12th through the 15th. For tickets, go to procourtchampionship.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Sacramento, Dirk Smedley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Part 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Carmelie.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha. And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Oh, yeah. Prop Talk is back. Now, last season, we didn't do Prop Talk for Niners. We only did it for Kings. And we might need to alter this a little bit. Depends how it'll work, if the props will be available on Fridays or if they don't get released until Saturdays for the NFL. But we'll try to do the Niners as much as possible. But on special nights like tonight, prime time situations, especially Monday night or Thursday night, we will obviously get you where you need to be. And then Simone and I will get into all the other props, the spread, the over-under, and we'll go from there. Simone, and just because it's me and you, we might have more than one if we're thinking, because I have one that I, felt I got to stand on business if I said something. So,
You want me to go first?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Give me the over. I'm just reading all the picks right now on Mr. Aaron Rodgers taking an interception.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Starting aggressive.
Hey, I like it. I like that for sure. I'm seeing a couple here. I'm sticking Niners, and I have a couple that I'm playing with, so we're just going to workshop this. I have one that might seem disrespectful, but I promise you it's not, okay? This is Brock Purdy, and this is so far. So I have let's see here. They've all played one game. All right. So let's see here. Brock Purdy, and I'm just looking at some of these other teams, and we know that Robert Saleh, obviously, he is a defensive guy, and they haven't had the same amount of success as people would have liked to see. But I do think that, with Sauce Gardner and the crew, and more so just offensively with the Niners having Christian McCaffrey, I'm really struggling. If you look at some of these guys who won football games but didn't ball out. So here are some of the guys that have eclipsed this mark. So Brock Purdy is at 237 and a half passing yards. All right. And you have Tua with 338. That's just bonkers. Matthew Stafford, who they just don't run the football really. Kyron Williams, I mean, he almost got me for my daily fantasy, but he barely gets it. Patrick Mahomes at 291. Baker that went up against the Commanders. Got to remember who they played too. You had Baker against the Commanders. Jalen Hurts against the Packers at 278. Lamar, just an insane game at 273. Then after that, you get to Jordan Love at 260. You get to Gardner Minshew at 257. Then after that, and these are guys that still won games. CJ Stroud, 234. They won the game. Josh Allen, 232. They won the game. Jared Goff, 217. They won the game. Dak Prescott, 179. Okay, they won the game. Derek Carr, 3 touchdowns, balled out, only 200 yards. Sam Darnold, 208 yards. I think that the Niners can handle business without Brock throwing 238 yards. So I'm actually going to get spicy here, and I have 3, and I'm going to go with the under on Brock Purdy passing yards. It is 237 and a half. I think he might throw for 3. I think it might be a Derek Carr-esque 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's just not going to fling it all around the football field. My spicy one.
Okay.
Yes. Like I said, I don't know how much he'll play. They have Brandon Ayuk at 48 and a half receiving yards. I wouldn't touch that. If you're going to go for gold. I'm saying Brandon Ayuk is going to score, and that is a demon, so that will get you some more points if he scores a touchdown. And last but not least, Christian McCaffrey, I get bad luck with Christian McCaffrey, so I'm not touching him. You know who is a primetime dude and loves how to show out in primetime matches? You know him. You might love him. If you're Nate, you definitely love him. That is George Kittle. George Kittle goes insane in primetime matchups. 45 and a half seems like a lock. So I'm going with George Kittle, 45 and a half receiving yards. So 45 and a half receiving yards for George Kittle. Take the over. I would also get spicy with Brandon Ayuk. Just a great storyline. I mean, look at Tyreek Hill yesterday. He gets arrested. 100 and whatever yards, gets a touchdown. Storylines, I'm a fan of playing out storylines. Brandon Ayuk, all this drama, finally gets on the field. Storyline's perfect. I think he gets a touchdown. And I don't think Brock Purdy gets 238 yards. I think he gets about 220, and the Niners still get the W. And now let's do our predictions. The Niners, Simone, at 3.5. They are favored by 3.5. I am going to say I just think the Jets have too much drama. Maybe if they had Hassan Reddick, T for Temple U, but he's taking a game check. That's how much he doesn't want to be there. I think the Niners get it done. It is a good defense. I don't want to disrespect the defense. I'm saying the Niners win about 27-17.
I think I'm gonna have to just be consistent, and I know I did a little bit of a crosstalk on my own with Carmichael Dave,
Okay.
and Lawd, and Jason this morning, and I think I had a final score of 34-27.
If it's 34, my 37.
I know.
My
And I also
237 is
but you
cooked.
were making a lot of sense. And for some reason, I was envisioning a different story. But I love that journey for you.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it gets a little scary when you see Jalen Hurts at 278, which seems like a lot, and Lamar at 273, and even Jordan Love at 260. But the other ones are just outliers, and CJ Stroud for me at 234, but getting it done. And, the Derek Carr special with 3 touchdowns and only 200 yards. And Kamara balled out as well. So I think we're looking for the Derek Carr model to get it done today. And we are also looking for Whitey Gleason, who will join me as we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush. Makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America NA.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Lowe's knows to start fall projects, you need reliable outdoor power equipment from Ego. Right now, get your choice of a select 56-volt blower or chainsaw for $249. The 56-volt technology powers over 80 tools, so you can switch from blowing leaves to cutting trees with ease. Save time and money with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Valid through 10/2. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Item number 5207558 and item number 4354078.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Y'all want to hear about the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford? Well, if you're age 50 or over, you can save hundreds when you switch. Are you ready for some exclusive discounts too? Phones in the air now. We're going to sign you up, baby. Go to visithartfordauto.com today for your free quote.
When you're with the Hartford, the Bucks got your back. Not about Hartford Fire Insurance Company, not AARP or its affiliates. Individual savings vary. The Hartford pays a royalty fee to AARP, which is used for external purposes. For information and restrictions, go to thehartford.com.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of the spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
You guys got a new Honda? Well, it was like this. My mom was driving me to school when, bam, our car started smoking. My mom wasn't happy, so she called my dad and said, honey, if you value your life and our marriage, you'll take care of this now. So my dad calls up Stockton Honda and was like, can you get me approved for a new car and save my marriage? And they're all, sure, Mr. Jones, we do this every day. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue. StocktonHonda.com.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
It is time for a little bit of crosstalk.
Crosstalk.
With
There's no such thing as a little bit of crosstalk. Crosstalk is big.
It's
Big crosstalk.
A lot of crosstalk going on. We're here with Kevin Michael Whitey Gleason.
Hello.
And Whitey, let's just get your thoughts on what were your biggest storylines from the NFL?
I'll tell you one of my biggest storylines before we get to that. How many fantasy leagues are you in?
I'm not a big fantasy.
3 right there.
I know. She said
Simone's in 3.
Well, I said, I lost Jordan Love. And she said, so did I. And I'm thinking, well, not in our league because I lost Jordan Love.
I know. I noticed how that may confuse you. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm in 3 right now, gentlemen. I did try and have 2 of them blend together so I can try and track everyone that way. So I'm going down. If I go down in one league, I'm going down in 2.
It's connected.
Yep.
So I have the one league that we're in, this league. And then I'm big on the daily fantasy. So basically every Sunday you get 60,000 to pick your lineup, which is a lot of fun. So I won the first. So basically we all put in and you win a little bit of the pot each week. And your boy did well yesterday.
Nice.
Even with CJ Stroud really not doing anything.
Did you guys happen to get together during your show today? Did you find somebody to donate an Aaron Rodgers Jet jersey that she could take home and put on Henrietta?
Yeah. Oh, he might not know about Henrietta.
The skeleton. That's what. Didn't you put an Eagles jersey on?
Yes.
Henrietta?
Yes.
Before
it did curse the Eagles.
It's something that she puts the jersey of the opposing 49er team
on
the skeleton. And I think it's been I'm not sure yet if it works or not. Do we know?
Yeah. Well, the problem was I, of course, am roommates with Kyle Ledbetter, who is a Chiefs fan.
That's right.
And he would not equip me with the necessary tools that I needed.
He has one.
I know he has one. He wears it every week.
That's right.
It was, so he wouldn't let me do that. And then, things happened.
Speaking of
February,
Kyle Ledbetter,
that's right.
He was a guy who the Chargers left, and then he went Chiefs, which I think is a little bit unforgivable. But
get him.
We were having the conversation about the Susan Slusser article, and how basically an agent said in 10 years the Giants will make more revenue than the Yankees, which is insane to think about. So we opened up the phone lines and we got a couple texts, and everybody that texted in said, yeah, no, I'm an A's fan, and I'd rather be, someone said I'd be a Padres fan. Nobody is saying right now, if they're an A's fan, they would jump. No. Will jump to the Giants.
Right.
I have a buddy who's was a big A's fan. He said, I'm just going to be Cubs. He just randomly picked the Cubs, and tough time to pick the Cubs, by the way. But what are your thoughts on, I guess, do you think, because we kind of landed on ultimately, if you're the Giants, will they be bigger than the Yankees? Who knows if this agent is right or not. But even if they get 20% of what were A's fans, they're making a lot of money.
The thing about the Yankees over the years, love them or hate them, and I'm not a Yankee guy, but they have a willingness to spend money historically, right? With the Giants, I don't know.
Well, it's a chicken or the egg thing, right? And they're still, I think I saw their attendance still isn't bad even this season. What if it's okay, we're at 5% of A's fans have now moved on, you know what I mean, have now grown. And now that allows them to spend even more money. What if that's the situation?
I don't know. An A's fan is not going to be, the split cap thing is that era, if it ever really existed, is gone. My point is, and forgive me if I'm dodging your question, I don't know that the current Giants ownership is really that interested in, yes, we're going to have more revenue, we're going to spend it, invest it in the club. I think we look at Farhan and go, he hasn't done a great job. And I think ownership looks at him and goes,
right,
nice job, Farhan.
Yeah.
We're on budget.
Well, and what's funny about that, they might feel like, to that point, they feel like getting the A's out of town is them not having to spend. We don't have to spend because you don't have a choice.
Right. Yes, that very well could be the case.
Yeah.
We won't know till we get there, but yeah, that would be my bet.
Yeah. As far as the Niners are concerned, Whitey, these are some of the names from the NFC that we brought up. The Eagles, the Rams, the Lions, the Packers, the Cowboys, and Simone wanted to put the Bucs on there. I said not yet.
Just an honorable mention.
Honorable mention for the Bucs. Any team that you saw from the NFC that you think can, after all this talk of the Niners being tight, I think somebody said Ricky Pearsall is going to run out with the team, and now they have that motivating them. After all the drama this offseason, and I've had a lot of fun with it myself, but after all of that, you watch all the NFC teams that have played really this week. There's nobody that looks like they're going to challenge. Not in week one. Not to me.
I wouldn't say this when Kyle Draper was here, but the Eagles look pretty good.
You think so?
Slow start, and I'll tell you a team that I think is going to be surprisingly competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying they're going to win anything, but I think they're going to be better.
Just say
than
it.
The Bears,
the Vikings,
Sam
Darnold,
yeah,
the unbust.
They have one of their most talented rosters, but we look at them and go, Sam Darnold, they're terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's okay, I think they might be pretty good this year.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm pretty sure it's the Niners have them week 2.
Yeah.
I think the Niners have them week 2. So that'll be fun. Yeah, the Eagles, you know me, I'm just not really big on Jalen Hurts. I'm not jealous of him on his jawline, I promise. I just don't like the way he plays the quarterback position.
Why the tush push or lack thereof? Not concerning?
From what standpoint? I mean, they didn't use it, right?
They did a
Yeah.
couple times,
Yeah.
not on the goal line though.
Yeah.
One of the times
that's how they got things done. That's how they were getting things done. So without it, what are they gonna do?
Well, the other thing,
it's so ugly.
It is.
Yeah.
The other thing to me when it comes to the Eagles is I don't really understand Jalen Hurts as a runner. Am I blind, or is this guy just not that fast or quick? He's a dang near a fullback.
Alan, are you saying all African-American quarterbacks should be fast or quick?
No, I'm saying
that where we're going now?
No, everybody says, oh man, his running. When I see running ability, I watch Jalen Hurts, and I don't know if I've ever seen him get more than 5 yards on one of their design runs. He's literally just used as a running back. I don't get it. I don't get
5 yards a chunk is pretty useful.
Well, no, it's not a chunk. I'm saying at most. That's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing him. Okay, I'm not seeing him Jaden Daniels. I'm not seeing him break away from anybody. It's very grimy. The whole thing is very gritty.
Blue collar, gritty, Philly.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
They scare me. They scare me a little bit.
Rams don't scare you. I mean, the Rams, they're just in shambles. The Lions, I think yesterday, I was a little let down by the Lions.
The Rams scare me from this standpoint. I thought that was a bad matchup for them last night because Detroit offensively, can be pretty potent, and the Rams defense, especially their secondary, they have a lot of talent, but they're very young. So I thought, bad matchup for the Rams. The defense actually held up pretty well. That's a little scary.
Yeah.
Speaking of scary, Darth Vader's scary, and Simone just passing along. We lost James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Ah.
I know. It's a rough one.
From your favorite movie, Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, Lion King as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So RIP to James Earl Jones. That's a tough one.
This is CNN. All that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I didn't mean to change the subject there, but my goodness.
No, now you have to bring it back around.
Huh. All right. Turn into the dark side. How about the New York Giants?
That wasn't bad. You've been doing this for a while, huh? That wasn't bad. I mean,
And
it's
what
terrible.
were they wearing?
Awful.
You know what? You know what those
Did
are?
you say awesome or awful?
Awful.
You know what those are? If you're good, they're great. If you
You
stink,
may be right.
they're terrible. We had, when I played the semi-pro, the Palo Alto Oaks,
Sure.
baby blue pants, baby blue tie, all baby blue. And if you're good, you're good. If you're bad, it's embarrassing. But we were good.
Makes a big difference. I remember talking to Dave Stewart years ago in the A's dugout, and he's like, "Man, you gotta look good to play good."
That's right. That's right. Well, Whitey, you always look good and you always play good.
What?
And that's what you're about to do. Drive, guys. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper coming up next. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to Simone, all the callers and the texters. We tackled a couple different subjects on this show, and I want to thank everybody for handling it the way you handled it. Don't have to always agree, but we can at least have good conversations, and we definitely did. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, like the bean.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He